And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Please like the video if you're listening on YouTube, and if you're listening on an audio streaming platform, whether that be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you at. Give me a 5-star rating. Give me some kind of love over there. I appreciate you for that. There's a whole lot going on all over the internet. I want to say first and foremost, congratulations to Nick Sandmann for settling yet another lawsuit. The first one was CNN. They settled earlier this year. I think it might have been in January. Now he settled the lawsuit with the Washington Post. Okay, the original lawsuit was $250 million. I don't know how much you got of that. Even if it was 1%, you're talking about $2.5 million. If it was 10%, you're talking about $25 million. Either way it goes, Nick Sandmann, I think, is going to be set for life. All right, he's going to be just fine with the monies that he's getting. And you know what? It's CNN's fault. It's Washington Post's fault. It's all these people that jumped the gun and wanted to attack this 16-year-old boy as a racist without any kind of evidence, without knowing anything about it. So, okay, you want to do that? You want to defame me? You want to attack me? You want to dox me? All right, well, check this out. How about take this lawsuit, eat that lawsuit, and we'll keep on going from there. So shout out to him. But we got a whole lot more we got to talk about on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You could be a few different places. Hopefully your state is starting to reopen and they don't have all these crazy mask ordinances. But I'm glad you're right here with me live on the show. We got a lot going on tonight. Let's start with my man Nick Sandmann. There's a whole lot we got to get into. We're talking about the Portland mayor, the so-called protest parties, dance parties and so-called protests, New York Times versus white parents. My man who was shot up there in Milwaukee, very unfortunate situation. Burnell Trammell, very unfortunate situation, but there's a whole lot going on. And again, thank y'all for joining. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, first and foremost, my man Nick Sandmann, congrats to him. Like I was saying from the beginning, he earned it. He's out there minding his own business. I'm talking about just chilling, right? Just chilling, minding his business. Here comes native dude all in his face, all, banging the drum, antagonizing him. He's doing nothing, sitting there, chilling. All right. Now, because he had a halfway smile on his face, someone to call it a smirk and then say, oh, he was disrespecting the native man. Well, what should he do in that situation? Okay. Like, what is he really doing aside from standing there? They made it seem like he was a white supremacist. He was trying to attack this man, all kind of stuff. They didn't know anything about him. Nobody asked who he was, why he was there, what was the context, what was going on. Like, right when I saw that video, I just had questions. Anytime I see a video like that without context, I'm asking questions. Why was he there? What's going on? Who was this dude? Where were I want to know all of what's going on so I understand what's happening rather than just jump to conclusions saying, oh, he's a racist and stuff like that. I don't have that kind of information. Therefore, I can't make that conclusion. People made it, though, all over the place. All these people writing op-eds instantly. I'm talking about as soon as I saw that little clip, they wrote op-eds instantly because Nick Sandmann, white kid, MAGA hat on, versus native dude. People they just instantly became racist, or they might have just already been racist and judged them based on the race without having any kind of information. All right. Now, it's one thing for just a regular normie to be out there making assertions about Nick Sandmann, okay? Because normies do that all the time. They just see things and don't think. They halfway read headlines and don't know what's going on, and they judge things based on that. People that don't even really care about trying to find out what's going on. People that automatically think, oh, white guy, MAGA hat, racist. Those people, I get it because they're ignorant in general. They're going to do that all the time. But if you're the New York Times, if you're CNN, if you're ABC, CBS, The Hill, etc., and you have a whole team of people that get paid a bunch of money, You're talking about millions and billions in payroll totally for all these people to actually fact find and dig for information. And they don't fact find and they don't dig for information. And the reason why they got to fact find and dig for information is because of a couple of reasons. Well, really, they should be doing that because that's what your job is as a news organization. But it's two main reasons. The first one is you don't want to mess around and get sued for libel or slander, right? So when you report on the story, you have to be correct. You got to be factually right, because if you're not correct, if you're not factually right, and you say a thing that can damage someone's reputation and or their business and or their life, now you got a legal battle on your hands. But beyond that, you want to maintain a clean reputation. You don't want to be seen as yellow journalists. That's what they all did. They attacked this young boy, this young kid. It wasn't a boy, but he was a kid. He wasn't an adult. They wanted to attack this young kid just because of the race factor. Now they got to pay the price. So like I said, CNN settled theirs earlier. I think the lawsuit against CNN was like $800 million. Now, obviously, he won't get paid $800 million. You settle for less than what the actual lawsuit is for. You sue high and then settle low. Okay, they'll settle it rather than having a long, drawn out court case, spending money in court fees, having the bad PR as well. Because what if they actually try to go to trial and beat it that way? Now you're going to have news article headlines all over the place. Okay, CNN attacked 16-year-old. They trying to beat him in court, all this and that. So go ahead and settle, make it go away. But you're going to pay. It ain't going to be no $5. It ain't going to be no $500,000. It might not even be $5 million. You're talking about within the 8 to 9 digits, at least the 8 digits for sure. All right. You're talking about 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 45, 50 million. If you're suing for 800 or for what was it? 250. So congrats to Nick Sandmann. And you know what? It should be a lesson to anybody else in the mainstream media. Don't just, judge a thing before you have information. Do due diligence. They should have been doing it. Like I said, you're a news organization. That's your job. I get news clips, stories sent to me every single day. ABL report on that. ABL report on that. But I kind of want to hold off until I get more information. It's like the whole case about Brunel Chamel up there in Milwaukee. I had that for a little while. Like, I think I had it on Thursday when it happened, but I didn't have all the information I have right now. I didn't have those video clips. I didn't know much about it. I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row and give a responsible report. I didn't want to say that he was shot and killed because he is a Trump supporter. I wanted to look and see what was really going on. And since I did that, I was able to get a better vision of what's happening. I don't know if he got killed because he's a Trump supporter, but I mean, is it a coincidence that he had an altercation over the Trump sign on, I think it might have been Monday of this week. And then Thursday, he shot killed right in front of his store where he had been for 25 years. People know him in the community. He's a fixture in the community. He always has a bunch of different signs. See, it wasn't just a Trump supporter. He was a guy that had been there since the 90s with these signs. He was kind of a street preacher. He had things, like mostly scriptures on his signs. He'd be out there with those. And sometimes he'd be political, local politicians. He was involved, and he was a smart guy. He was an articulate guy. And the most recent sign was the Trump sign. And then that got more reaction and more of a negative response than some of the other things did. There was a confrontation, and then 3 or 4 days later, he's gone. Okay, now where's the media on this to even talk about what could be going on? I'm hearing that there might be a federal investigation into the whole situation to figure out what's happening. And he got shot in broad daylight. So you got to ask yourself this. If somebody gets shot in broad daylight in front of their store where everybody in the whole community knows them to be, why would that happen if not for, the Trump sign or something? Like, it's not any kind of beef as far as I know, because if you've been in the same spot for 25 years and everybody knows who you are, you're not trying to hide away from beef. So obviously there was somebody that did not like something that he was doing, and it probably was a Trump sign that did it. Now, hopefully they're able to find this person, get them locked up. But as of right now, they don't have any leads that are public. They could have some leads that they're working on that are private, but they've not said anything publicly. So if you live out there in Milwaukee and you have any kind of, a breadcrumb, just give it to the police and maybe they can work with it, But as of right now, we don't have much. But I wanted to make sure I had all the information that I could possibly gather about this story. And shout out to the blogger that wrote an article about Brunel Chamel. I think his name is Adebisi Ogoro. And his blog is called thegoddegree.com. A very well written article about Mr. Chamel. And, it encapsulated what kind of guy he was. And the videos really showed it. He's just a regular guy. People might see somebody like him and think that he's not going to speak to you that way. Because I've seen guys on the street that are preaching. Sometimes they're not always really coherent. They mean well, but they're not always really coherent. But he was just regular guy. Not aggressive. As a matter of fact, he spoke about the altercation that he had over the Trump sign. And he was saying that the young man was there for about an hour. And after a while, he's asked him to give him a little bit of space because I don't want to catch the virus. And then when the young man would not leave, he left because he didn't want any kind of problems. And then he came back after the young man had left. So he's not violent or anything like that. So why would somebody just shoot him in the middle of the day? Like it was a car that pulled up, stopped, shot him and left. So it wasn't like, where you might see in the hood sometimes where it's how can I say, innocent bystander type situation where there's shooting going on and somebody gets shot. Nah, it's not like that. Middle of the daytime. So this ain't, drive-by shooting hours, number one. Number two, the car pulled up to his store, shot him, and then left. Why would they do that? It's crazy. And you know what? Although all the facts aren't in as far as what the exact motive was, you could pretty much put two and two together and maybe you can assume that the sign has something to do with it, although we don't know that for sure. And there's not much media reaction from this. Has anybody seen the case in the media? I try to stay away from the mainstream media as much as I can. So I've not been watching the mainstream media. I read most of my news nowadays. It's hard to even watch Fox. I was watching Fox the other day and they cut away from the press conference with Kelly McEnany. Now, I understood what they did. I understood why they did that because they played a video that might have been a little bit too raw for daytime TV. So I understand why they did it, but it's like, all right, I rather would just not even watch mainstream media so I can get my news the way I want it without having all these restrictions, daytime TV, and, the political affiliation of the heads of the network. I'd rather not deal with that. I'd rather would just go read it myself or get the local news report if I need to watch video because it's less spin when you're speaking about local news. But anyway, if this were a case where somebody was a big time Joe Biden supporter, everybody knew him for that, they had signs, which you're not going to find, by the way. You're not going to find anybody out there with a Joe Biden sign every day talking to you on the street about it. And if I'm wrong, you tell me who's out there doing that. I've never seen anybody like that in my entire life. But anyway, if somebody was out there with a Joe Biden sign every day, speaking to people and, having that be what they do every day, and then they were killed right after a confrontation over the sign, like 3 or 4 days later, the media will be reporting it as, this is a big time Joe Biden supporter, a well-known Democrat, well-loved, peaceful. They would say something about it. So I'm just trying to figure out if the media are going to cover Mr. Chamel or are they just going to let it, just kind of fade off into the distance, not even really talking about it. All right. So I'm reading the chat here to see if anybody has seen this on the media. Let me see. Wow. Biff Tannen's dad says, I live in the Milwaukee area. I just heard about this today. It's being covered up. So that's crazy. If you live right there in the area and you're just not hearing about it, I mean, how does that work for the mainstream media? They're probably not talking about it at all. I mean, you would think that if a thing happens in your area, you would know about it first, but, it's not like that sometimes. And I've been there before. Some things get covered up. I get told about certain things that happen. I'm like, really, that happened? I don't know about it, and I'm right here. It's crazy. All right, let me see. I'm reading some in the chat here. Yeah, I don't think anybody really saw that one. Yeah, they won't have 3 funerals for Brunel Chamel. Nah, not at all. Not in the least bit. I saw the Tim Pool video. Well, I didn't watch the Tim Pool video, but I saw that he made one. Nothing against Tim Pool, but I can't really watch political YouTubers because it kind of gets into my thought process. Like when I'm doing a video, I never have a script at all. I just kind of talk about what's going, like what I do is I read and get information about what's happening. I give you the real information. I write an article about it myself, and then I'll source my article with local, national, left, right, everybody, independent. I source it, write an article after I do my video. But if I watch a political channel before I do mine, some of their thoughts might get into my stream of consciousness, and I might kind of say some of their lines. So I try not to do that too much, like ever at all. So you can get it straight from me opinion about it after I give you the facts of the case that I always read up on before I do a video. All right. So everybody says they heard it through me and nobody else. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, hey, I gotta ask because I don't know. I'm not watching the media. I've not seen the media much in the past few days. I just read on my news at this point. All right. Now, we got a whole lot going on here. And shout out to Tim Pool, though. Tim Pool's a good source of information. He's a guy that I think I'm on par with. And if not, I like to be there. So shout out to him. And what else we got going on here? Oh, did you guys see the Portland mayor? Speaking about locals and leadership and whatnot, did you see the Portland mayor out there with the so-called protesters getting tear gassed? And then it's like, why are you even out there? So they don't like you. They putting a police hat on you. That was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. He's out there trying to speak to the protesters, talking about over with you, no matter what, all this and that and the third. Meanwhile, the protesters are showing them that they don't like him. They put the police hat on him to identify him as a cop. I think did they go to his house? I know they went to Jenny from the block, aka Jenny Durkin's house up there in Freewater, Washington. And they also went to Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's house. I'm gonna talk about that in a moment. But to get back to your man, Ted Wheeler, what are you even doing out there? Matter of fact, when I saw Ted Wheeler out there at the so-called protest, he reminded me of Jacob Fry from Minneapolis. Remember him looking like Peter Pan out there, like a little boy? It's like, sir, ain't you like 40 years old? Why are you looking like a little boy out here? Like head down. And it's like, man, if that's leadership, then you're not being led anywhere. You're being led astray. You're being bamboozled. You're being hoodwinked. You're not being led properly with a guy like that out there on the front lines. That's just not what is going on. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring up the clip right quick of your man. Hold on. Because I have a couple of clips. One of them is not Fry in Minneapolis, but Ted Wheeler of Portland getting getting gassed with the tear gas and talking about, oh, it stings, all this and that. And then I have another one of him, just out there trying to talk and not being able to do so. Oh, here it is. This is Ted Wheeler after he got gassed and was talking in general about what's happening. Let me put it up on the screen right quick and let's do it.
I'm not gonna lie, it stings, it's hard to breathe, and I can tell you with 100% honesty, I saw nothing that provoked this response. It's nasty stuff. I'm not afraid.
Now, if you didn't hear that, he said, I see nothing that provoked this response, meaning from the federals that were out there protecting the federal building. And I think right after that, you had the so-called protesters, really rioters, insurrectionists, Marxists, communists, rabble-rousers, general decrepit human beings, drug addicts, numbnuts. Should I go on? Anyway, they set fire or tried to set fire to the federal building, like right when he said this. So this guy's just totally wrong. And what's up with are those, what are those like shop goggles? What are those he has on his face? Did it work for the tear gas? I'm not really sure, sir.
But I am pissed off.
What are you pissed about?
This is a egregious overreaction on the part of the federal officers. There was nothing that I saw anybody do.
So it's like, okay, people want Trump to come out there with the federals, right? They want him to bring law and order, but then you got guys like this that are in leadership that are fighting against him. You got the mayor, the city council, maybe even the governor that are fighting against him. So it's hilarious how you got these blue states talking about states' rights, huh? I remember there was a war, and they said that it wasn't states' rights that was going on there, but I don't want to dig up old wounds, so I digress.
Warranted this reaction. And all it's doing, as you can see, it hasn't stopped the threat. So they fired munitions, they fired tear gas. All it's done is piss everybody off even more. It's made people angry. They've come in and they've kicked the hornet's nest. Sure.
Now, what Jacob Fry has been saying is that when Trump sent to federals, it made the whole situation worse. But what he doesn't understand is his leadership and lack thereof, and the leaders that came before him set the tone for this to even happen. Because before Trump sent any kind of federals, there was a 2018 Occupy ICE movement where Portland encouraged the citizens to fight against ICE agents coming in and doing deportations. And Portland's been going down the tubes for many, many years now. All of what they have done or not done in Portland has led up to this moment. So don't try to say, oh, it's Trump's fault for coming in at the 0 hour. You've been having riots for like almost 2 months before Trump sent anybody to the city. And he only sent people to the federal buildings, not to really just control all of what's going on. So don't try to put it on Trump. The problems that you have right now in Portland have persisted for a very long time. The situation has been building up for many, many years. Don't try to blame it on Trump.
This is not a de-escalation strategy. This is flat out urban warfare. And
it ain't urban warfare yet because they ain't using them live rounds. Now, when you get the Tiananmen Square type thing going on, then you could talk. But right now, all they're doing is getting a little bit of, salt and pepper in the nose. That's pretty much all that's going on right now.
It's being brought on the people of this country by the president.
And you know what? He keep messing with that mask. The mask ain't doing nothing, and them shop goggles ain't doing nothing. He might as well just go ahead and take all that stuff off, man. It's not working, okay? You keep touching it, and you getting stuff all on you. You getting smutz in your face. It's not working at all. So there's no point in even doing that. This guy, Jacob Fry, like I said, is the equivalent. I mean, not Jacob Fry. He might as well be the same guy. This guy, Ted Wheeler, is the same as Jacob Fry. Ted Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, and the mayor of Minneapolis, the mayor of Seattle, they're all Garcetti, LA, they're all the same. They're all the exact same kind of people. Yeah, don't try to blame Trump for what's happening with the rioters. Exactly. Good Bad says, how dare federal officers protect federal buildings? Exactly. Exactly. 1000%. So, I mean, what was his plan? Just let the whole thing happen and never have anybody come in and do anything about it? Just, let the city just descend into chaos? Maybe that was a plan from many, many years ago, and he wants that plan to continue. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure how that helps him at all or anybody else in the city, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy. All right, but thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now. And when you subscribe, click that bell for me. When you click the bell, you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Again, thank y'all for watching. You could be almost anywhere, but you're right here with me live on the show. All right. Yeah, are those shop goggles, swimming goggles? What kind of goggles are those? Because I remember wearing those like when I was like 15 in shop class, building sheds and stuff outside at high school. Okay, so that's not really going to work when you're talking about, salt and pepper in your nose. You understand what I'm saying? You keep touching safety goggles. That's not really going to work out for you, sir. Obviously, them things fogged up. You can't even see what's going on. I'm messing around and get hit blindsided. Okay, also, I wanted to show this one clip too. Now, I want to put the sound on for this one, but this is Ted Wheeler again, and he's out there trying to talk. and you can see that they have somebody in the background is holding a police hat over his head. You know what I'm saying? Like, not really touching him, but he's in the background with it over his head. So it appears like that's, you know what I mean? They're just identifying him as a police officer because, little known fact, the mayor of Portland is also the police commissioner. You know, that's like a thing that's go back, I think, to the Gold Rush days. So he's all like, they don't like him because he's like a police officer. They don't want any kind of authority at all in the city, because what they want to do is remove authority that exists and place their own authority in its place. That's what they do. It's like the girl that was over in UK. Did you guys see that? Where they had the statue of the so-called slaver. I don't even know what the guy's name was or why he was significant. But anyway, they said he was a slaver, and they replaced him with some random black woman in her street clothes. Like, she wasn't even elegantly dressed. She on like regular Old Navy special type stuff. You understand? Like, you go to the website and get 2 for $3. That's pretty much what's going on. But anyway, they tried to replace it, and then the city took it down right away. You see, they want to take down the slaver, but then replace it with them. This is Islam. This is something that has already been done. This is communism as well. This is what they do. They want to replace your pre-existing culture, your history, and everything else with their own. That's what's going on. But hey, I got to talk about the Chicago mayor and the protests outside her house. Now, I'm being told by people that if I don't put on a mask, then I hate my grandmama, my granddaddy. I hate old people in general. I don't want to have the country get back on track. I want the so-called pandemic to continue. That's what I'm being told. If I don't put on my mask, that's what I'm doing, right? But, however, they're allowed to have these dance parties at these so-called protests with little to no mask coverage. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Matter of fact, hold on. I got it. There, it's right there. Perfect. There we go. I'm going to put it on the screen right quick so you guys can see it. Now, shout out to Cal Kashuv. He has a perfect caption. You're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to go to see your dying relative. You're not allowed to attend funerals. However, you can do this. I mean, when I see this clip, I always get infuriated. Always, because like I told you guys before, my uncle died. He was 88 years old, and I could not go to his funeral because you had restrictions. He died after his birth, like he died right after Juneteenth, which was his birthday. You know, Juneteenth was June 19th, obviously. He died June 21st. And they just had the funeral recently because it took a while because of the virus. It's hard to make arrangements in D.C., which is where he passed away. Now, you only were able to have 10 attendants at the funeral. I couldn't go, and a lot of us couldn't go. We got a pretty well-connected family, pretty big family, especially up there in D.C. So it was just like my dad, my uncle, my dad's uncle was the one that passed away. My uncle that went was my dad's brother, you understand? But anyway, it was just a handful of us that were able to go, but I couldn't go because of the virus restrictions. However, this year, it's celebrated. That's fine. I mean, what are we doing? Twerking? For real? And people want to kick back on the left talking about, oh, ABL, you just don't like Black Lives Matter. They have on masks. First of all, I was told that you got to have a mask and social distance, and that's obviously not happening right here. Like, I don't have 20/20 vision, okay? I have actual glasses because I can't see very well. I'm nearsighted, so maybe I'm just, maybe I have an outdated prescription. Maybe I don't see all the masks in the crowd, but I know what I can see is this big glump of people. I see zero distancing, none whatsoever. And I also see masks up under the chin, up under the nose, and everything else. All right. So, and I'm trying to figure out, what's that got to do with Black Lives Matter? What does twerking got to do with Black Lives Matter? How was it even a protest? What are we even doing out there? Like, what? It's just so dumb. It makes no sense at all. So what they're doing right here is having a party. So if you call a party a protest, then it's fine. Okay, so what if I say that the funeral identifies as a party? Can I have more than 10 attend the funeral? Maybe. You got like 2,000 out here, and that's fine, right? And then they'll talk about me being in Walmart and my nose out, saying that's spreading the virus, and that's the reason why you got more cases in the South. No. How about some of these so-called protests with like 10,000 people crammed together, elbow to elbow? Maybe that's contributing to the spike in the virus cases. Just maybe. I'm just trying to figure out if that makes any sense, because I'm told that how you get it is from not distancing, being in very large crowds, and not wearing your mask. I see some got masks on, some got masks on off, but they're all tight together like a pack of sardines. So maybe this is the problem. That's, in Portland, Oregon, they've been like that for the past 2 months. And maybe some of them don't live in Portland. Maybe they're traveling to other places every day or some days, and they spread it to other places. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, this video really infuriated me. They changed the song. They did the different dances. So this went on for an extended period of time. So yeah, that right there, I get I'm talking about red hot on the inside, infuriated. But try to go to church. You can't even, and if you go to church and you're socially distanced, you got less members, you doing your mask, you can't even sing, but you can twerk outside with no mask on, swinging all kind of sweat and everything else around, and that's fine, right? All right, bet. Okay. I will never forget this. I will always remember this whole situation. When I look back on it and I talk about it to my kids and everything, I'm gonna be like, hey, back in 2020, it was crazy. They said you got to put a mask on to prevent this virus, right? But if you wanted to go out there and protest against who knows what, then you could do whatever you want. There was no restrictions on it. It'd be dumb to even look back on it and talk about it, but that's what's going on right now. 1,000%. And what else is happening? I'm kind of getting triggered right now talking about that one. Oh yeah. Shout out to the New York Times. They wrote, well, they didn't write this piece. They have a podcast coming out. I think it comes out on the 30th of this month. Again, not an ad at all. I don't get any money from the New York Times. I don't have any kind of affiliation with them. Nothing at all with the New York Times for me. I got interviewed by them one time, like 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. I never heard from it since. I think, what's her name, interviewed me, Yamisha Sender. She's one of these people that goes into the White House press corps and asks all these dumb questions to Kelly McEnany and Donald Trump. But anyway, I have no connection to the New York Times. Having said that, they got a podcast coming out on the 30th called Nice White Parents. Now, what they did is looked back on a story that happened back in 1963. A school was being built right next to a project building in New York City, and the student body was going to be mostly Black and Puerto Rican kids. This is right around the time of desegregation, 1 year past, brown border education. So the podcast says, what they allege is that white parents from a neighborhood that was kind of close by, a mostly white neighborhood, wrote the school board and said, hey, don't build the school right there. Build it close to us because we want to have integration. If you build it right there, it's only going to be Black and Hispanic kids and segregated. Bring them over here. We want to have our white kids go to the school too. But then when the school was built, the white parents didn't send their kids to the school that they requested to be built next to them. Allegedly, that's what they said happened. And the podcast will spend its time asking the parents why. You're talking about parents that are still living from back then. They're trying to, ask them what's going on right now in 2020. Why did they do that or whatever? And the reason that they're doing this is to try to explain the achievement gap in schools between Blacks and Hispanics and then whites and Asians. Okay, they're calling the podcast Nice White Parents. They're trying to blame whites for the achievement gap between Blacks and Hispanics and whites and Asians. How does it make any sense? So Asians are right next to whites as far as achieving. actually Asians perform higher than whites generally in academics, but it's the white parents' fault. Anyway, they're trying to make the white parents be responsible. Now, this is just so silly. Like I said in my video, if you saw it, both of my grandparents on my father's side were school teachers in Roanoke, Virginia in the 60s and 70s. And the main thing that they always told me, and what dad always tells me, and what I know for myself, is that the biggest difference between the black and Hispanic and then the white and Asian kids is the culture behind it. It's a lack of preparation. You know, you go to my house when I'm a kid, there's books everywhere. And when I was a kid, I had a bookcase full of books, and I used to read for fun. Like I said before, I got glasses because I'm nearsighted. It's not just fashion. I used to read so much, I got nearsighted at a very young age. All I did was read and play and stuff like that too. I was a kid, of course, but I really enjoyed reading. I had a love for reading, and I was read too at a very early age. You're talking about a baby, you know, Goo Goo Gaga, all this, and you know, I was read too at that age. And then I was also taught basic things before I went to school, rather than relying upon the government. I was taught how to write my name, how to read a little bit, how to draw, color within the lines, count from 1 to 10, 1 to 100, all this and that. I had those basic skills already before I went to kindergarten. So when I got to kindergarten, first or second grade, all throughout elementary, I was getting straight A's with no problem because I was ahead. I was already at a place where a lot of the kids weren't. A lot of kids don't have any kind of education at all before they get to school. Well, a lot of black kids and Hispanic kids, they don't have any kind of education. They go to kindergarten with no ability to read at all. They know how to play with a cell phone and stuff like that, but they can't read it all. They can't write their own name when they're 5, 6 years old. But I already had that when I was like 2 or 3 years old, or even earlier than that. You see, and that's the problem. And that gap that's there from early education before government school explains the gap in between the races. From my point of view, from my grandparents' point of view, from my dad, from all of us that understand education, that's what's going on. You know, that's how I was able to always get good grades. And for, like, to me, at a certain point, I got kind of bored with school, you know, because I knew everything. And it's like, all right, what am I learning here? I didn't really want to get skipped because I didn't want to be socially out of my league. But I was already ahead because a lot of these kids couldn't, you know, 2 plus 2 was a challenge at 6, 7 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's the parents. That's the main thing. And these Asian kids don't play around. When I say Asian, I mean Indian American too, not just Chinese, Japanese, Korean. I'm talking about, you know, Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, the Burmese, the Filipinos, same way. You know, it's not a game. We're talking about education, especially Japanese and, you know, especially like Eastern, Northeast Asian, Chinese, like Indian too, but definitely like Beijing, Shanghai, Tokyo, Seoul. It's not a game we're talking about academics. It's dead serious, 1,000% serious. Actually, school over there is much more serious than it is over here. So, of course, when they come over here, like immigrants and whatnot, they're going to take education very seriously and they're going to perform very well. And you go to college, higher education is full of Asians and whites because they have a culture of, you know, really championing education, where a lot of blacks and Hispanics don't. That's just the reality of the situation. Not all, from either side, not all blacks and Hispanics are going to just not champion education, just how not all Asians and whites will champion it, but you're going to see more whites and Asians champion it versus blacks and Hispanics. That's the difference. If you had more of us that cared about education from a young age or in general, then you'd be better off as a result. Rather than your mama worried about getting her nails done and her hair done and playing with her cell phone, beefing on Facebook with high school people, you know, when she's 45 years old, she should be trying to, you know, teach little man about how to add 2 plus 2 when he's 4 years old. So when he goes to school, he's not totally behind everybody else in the class. That's the problem. So it is. And also affirmative action as well. You know, you get put into a school that's way too advanced for you when you get to be in college. You see, so that's a different story right there, affirmative action. But the main thing is your early education. That is a big factor in the achievement gap in between the races. If you're not going to solve that, then there's no purpose in trying to say anything else. Don't try to blame. What you can't do is blame white people for it. I mean, that's not their responsibility to make sure that blacks and Hispanics are educated. even if, going back to the original story about the school that was built, even if the white parents sent their kids to the mostly black school, it would not have helped the black kids. Because I remember being in class with the same teacher, everything, and you had the black kids perform worse than everybody else. In general, I was always getting like straight A's, but a lot of my friends just couldn't really measure up. But people that I was really friends with, people that I was really cool with, I would expose to reading. I would give them books, lend them books. And even like, I know one of my friends that got locked up for a long time and came home and went back, came home again. He was always very good with, reading, writing, and whatnot. Guys like that might end up writing books and stuff when they come home. A better writer than I am, and I'm a pretty decent writer. I got my own website where I write the articles, obviously. But he's better than me because he got exposed to that early. Now, as far as being in jail, you start talking about that toxic culture that exists, and he couldn't escape that. But I was able to escape that. So it is what it is. That's pretty much what's going on with that. Don't blame the white man because your kid can't read. Blame yourself because you're on Facebook playing Candy Crush rather than teaching your kid how to add 1 + 1 or just letting them watch Sesame Street. But you know what? Let me back off of that because Sesame Street then got kind of weird. You got guys like Billy Porter up there wearing a dress, confusing kids because, if your child's 2 years old and they see this man wearing a dress, they're going to be kind of like, what's going on here? Mommy, why is this man wearing a dress? Why is he wearing what you wear, mommy? How you going to answer that? But back in my day, you could watch Sesame Street and learn. That's what I was able to do. And also I had flashcards and my mother had an active role in my early education. A lot of black kids and Hispanic kids don't have that, but I did. And that's why I was always getting straight A's all throughout school. Alrighty. But thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. What else we got? What else we got on the table for today? Did I cover everything? No, I didn't. I'm gonna read some of the chat here. Then we're gonna get back to it. So I covered Lori Lightfoot. I covered the education gap. I pretty much covered everything. Let me get to the chats right quick. PBS, yeah, I didn't even really deal with PBS that I remember. Let me see. Oh yeah, I saw that. Randy Price says the gun tampered with in the Missouri case of McCloskey's. Was that the McCloskey's where they had the wife's gun held for evidence. You know the story where they were out there defending themselves against the so-called BLM protesters, really rising insurrectionists. They were outside of their home with their guns protecting themselves. And the police took their guns because they wanted to use it for evidence or whatever. Just the 2 guns that were in the video. They could have more guns. I don't really know about that, but it took the 2 guns that were in the video. And the rifle was not loaded. The handgun that the wife had was not operable, but then they broke it down to make it operable and make it shoot. So it's like, why would you do that? What, like you're actually tampering with the evidence? How does that make any sense? If the purpose of gathering the evidence is to see if what you were saying about it is correct, because they said that the gun didn't work. If that was the purpose, then why would you intentionally break it apart to make it work? I don't understand how that makes any sense. Alrighty. Let me see. But what else we got going on here? Oh yeah, you're talking about Kim Gardner. Kim Gardner's people. Kim Gardner, that's the prosecutor out there. I forget what her actual title is, but she's the one bringing charges against him. Alrighty. Yeah, everybody's voting for Trump in here, Aztec Warrior. You already know what it is. Hold on. I'm gonna answer your question right here. Latanya Booker says, okay, and at what point did you realize you're only going to make it so far in this society before you have to do some things you aren't going to do? I'm not sure if that's for me or what that question really means. Now, Sushi, I did hear about the shooting at, what's that, the NFAC? So the NFAC guys, remember them? Grandmaster Jay, the guy with the group of people that were out there in Stone Mountain, protesting Iraq. One guy had his rifle with a drum magazine, and he had an active jam in it, holding it out there like he's gonna do something with that. It's like, sir, your drum feed is nice, that's fine, but guess what? You got an active jam in it right now, so I could come in front of you, do the Macarena. You can't touch me at all because you got a jam in your rifle. But anyway, those same guys, they went to, I think, Kentucky for some reason. I'm not really sure why they were there, but they were out there, and then there were some shots fired, and I think at least one guy got shot, but it might have been him that shot himself. I'm not surprised. I don't have all the information, but that's pretty much what I'm hearing. If the guy did shoot himself, that's no surprise to me at all, because one guy was out there double wielding ARs. I'm talking about he had two rifles in his hand at the same time. It's like, sir, how are you gonna shoot two guns simultaneously like this? Like it was a shotgun, but it was two guns side by side. Like, sir, what you gonna do with that, man? Come on. Like, you're not using your brain. The recoil's gonna be crazy. I mean, you got guns vibrating off each other. I mean, that was totally a mess. So if you got guys that are dual wielding ARs, one guy had a drum fed mag with an active jam in it, carrying it around like he was going to do something with it. And also the leader, Grandmaster Jay, was giving some kind of gun lesson in his house. It was a video of him showing this girl how to use a rifle. It's like, sir, I see hardwood floors and the flat screen TV. You're not really in a safe environment. You probably in a apartment with 2 bedrooms in it, and your neighbors are not gonna like it too well if the gun goes off and it shoots through the drywall, okay? You don't want to shoot up Miss Johnson's flat screen TV in the next apartment over, okay? She over there cooking grits and bacon and whatnot. You're going to mess up the whole breakfast. So that's not really a good place to be to show gun safety or have a gun class. How about you go outside somewhere where it's safe, like a gun range maybe, outdoor gun range? I'm just trying to, make a little bit of sense. But if one of these guys did shoot themselves, I'm not surprised at all. That kind of just makes sense. Alrighty, but again, thank y'all for joining. Yeah, I did hear about that stolen valor part, Grandmaster Jay, because he was talking about they're all veterans or all trained to go. Yeah, he probably is using stolen valor because the same guy that said that they're all veterans and they're trained shooters had like a little of he went to like a range or a gun range with a rifle. From 30 yards away, he missed the entire sheet. It's like, sir, how can you not hit the sheet when it's right in front of you with a rifle? A rifle's gonna be more accurate because it's long. It's like next to no recoil on it. You can shoot it and it's gonna be pretty easy. Versus a rifle, a handgun where it's it's just in your hand. It's not as easily controlled, or a shotgun or something like that, but with a big spread. You have a rifle, you missed the entire sheet from 30 yards away. You shot like 3 times, missed every shot. It's like, come on, man, what are we really doing here? So if he is not actually a military guy, I'm not surprised at all. That just kind of makes sense to me. Alrighty. Yeah, this ain't Wolfenstein. This ain't Doom. This ain't no video game, sir. Ain't no dual wielding going on. Have one rifle in your hand at once. If you got to have 2 rifles, have one on your back or somewhere else, maybe in the car, in the trunk of your car, locked up safely. But you can't have them in your hand at the same time. It just kind of make no sense. Alrighty. So yeah. Super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick, and then we're going to get to the calls. Let me see. Shout out to Good Bad, who says, what's up, ABL, Trump 2020 all day long. Thank you to Joshua Perez, who says, Staten Island is amazing. A lot of Trump supporters and great barbecue food. Some anti-Trumpers, but they're everywhere. Also use David Harris Trump 2020 sign. Yes, indeed. Shout out to my man David Harris Jr. for the Trump 2020 banners. You can just pop them out. I saw one guy, I think it's Dion, I forget his last name, a New York guy. He always does like pop up, Trump 2020, wherever he is. It was a newscast going on. He was in the background. And he kind of like looked and got an opportunity and leaned over, hit him with the Trump 2020. That was a good thing that he did there. So shout out to him and shout out to y'all as well. All right, let me see. Joshua Perez, I read that one. Thank you to my man Charles Turner Jr., who says, ABO, did you get the email I sent you with Chat Daisy Cousins video? It is interesting all the ways the left tries to attack their opponents. I have to look for that. I get a ton of emails, so I'm not sure if I got that one, but I'll look for it. Let me see. Shout out to Susan Neely for becoming an ABL supporter. I thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate you guys. Oh, and before I go to my other super chats, I'm going to go to the WNBA thing right quick. I got to bring that up, the WNBA. I'm going to continue reading those in just a moment. But this one was really funny. Okay, so the WNBA, if you guys don't know, that's the Women's National Basketball Association. Yes, they do have an actual league. I know you guys don't watch it. I don't either. But they had a little restart to their season. And you know what? Before I continue with this, they shouldn't have come back. There's no reason. The liability for one of them catching the virus is more than what they're worth. These girls get paid next to no money to go out there and play. The top salary in the WNBA is $125,000. The top salary. So the average player is getting paid like $30,000. You're talking about school teacher money for like why come back? Maybe they need the money, but good grief. I mean, I don't think it's really worth it. Like, they're not making any kind of, the NBA makes no money off of these girls. Okay. The NBA is funding them at a loss. It's an SJW project that's been tried for 20 something years and it's been failing every single year. They have never had a profit at all. But anyway, so they had a national anthem before the game and then they walked off the court. Check it out.
Anthem was played. We saw the players leave the floor, go back to their respective locker rooms. One of those actions we'll see throughout the season as part of the social justice initiative.
Yeah, first of many ways that we will see WNBA players using their voices all season long. This is nothing.
I mean, like, what are you even doing? WNBA, they're crying about not getting paid, right? They're crying about not getting equal to what the men make, but they don't get paid what the men make because they don't make any money. Listen, I'm a basketball fan, right? I've played basketball. I love basketball. I've been trying to watch some of the games, but they got the Black Lives Matter right on the court. It's making it really hard. I can't really watch it, but I really enjoy the sport. It's fun. It's just a good thing. I just really enjoy it. It's fun to me. But anyway, the WNBA sucks. Always has. It's a layup drill. I'm not trying to watch these women looking like halfway men, not even attractive, Dennis Rodman in the face. I don't want to see them go up and down the court at half speed doing layup drills. I'm sorry. Okay. Until you can get one of these girls to do like some kind of, spinning backdoor layup or some kind of Space Jam maneuver, I don't want to see it. I have no reason to watch. They're crying about not getting paid. They're not getting paid because nobody wants to watch them play. It's simple. Oh, we get paid more overseas. Stay overseas then, where they want to see it. I don't want to see it. Okay. And then you want to have the nerve to walk off during the national anthem. It's like, it's not even the knee, because I was told that, the knee is, to show honor to the flag, not disrespectful. The Navy SEAL told Kaepernick to kneel rather than sitting down to show respect. But we all know what it is. They're kneeling because they're disrespecting the flag. They're kneeling to protest. So when you walk off the court, it's the same thing as a kneeling. You just want to get more attention, but all you're going to do is get negative attention. I have no intention of ever watching the WNBA, but now I have negative, thoughts of watching the NBA. Like at first it was at 0. Now it's at like negative 5,000. That's what's going on right now. And anybody that would have turned on the game to watch it are not going to do it. They're going to lose what fans they did have, which is pretty much nobody. Nobody watches them. It's not a fun game. It's not exciting. And on top of that, they're not even really good at playing basketball. Have you ever seen some of these games? Like I've watched some of their highlights or lowlights. You got it missing layups. It's not even a good layup drill. These girls can get beat by any boys JV team right now today, guaranteed. That's big facts. But anyway, yeah, I had to show you guys that you're not going to see it at all, because you're not going to watch the game, so you probably won't see it. You're not really going to watch ESPN. So I'll show you that right now, just make sure you understand what's going on today. It's not about trying to honor the flag. Nah, they want to protest America. They hate America. They don't like America. That's what's going on right now. That's why they walked off. All right. If the NBA guys did the same thing, I won't be surprised. If the NBA guys like LeBron and everybody else, they had the national anthem and they walked, I wouldn't be surprised if they walked off too. All right. So Super chats on deck. I'm going to get back to those right quick, and then we get into the calls. Thank you to Luciano, who says, almost no one watches the WNBA. Now, pretty much nobody will watch it now. They'll probably be the only pro sports franchise to do layoffs. Exactly. Hey, you know what? It should have been done. It should have been closed the entire league, so-called league, the WNBA. The only reason why it's not closed is because the NBA subsidizes it. It's an offshoot of the NBA. It's a charity case of the NBA. They lose money every year. So they should have been closed it. It shouldn't have got started, really, but it's here. They want to be social justice warriors, and they got to figure out a way to keep it afloat, but they shouldn't, honestly. Shout out to Retro Gamer 81, who says, RIP Brunel Tramiel, David Dorn, and Patrick Underwood. Your lives matter, and I will meet you in the kingdom of heaven, my brothers. 100% correct. Thank you for that. Thank you to Blake Monasco, who says Democrats should change their name. Yeah, I think I saw that. I forget who that was that put it out there, but they should. Shout out to Hello Kitty for the donation. And back to what Blake said, because that party, the Democratic Party, were the ones that were always in favor of slavery, because the Republican Party did not come around until the end of slavery. Lincoln was the first Republican president, and he ended slavery. So before that, you had a Democratic Party. Shout out to AVK, who says 1 hour ago, 3 accidentally shot by NFAC in Louisville. So who was shot by NFAC? Was it their own people or other people? I'm trying to figure out. All right. Shout out to John Matrix, who says, ABL, sir. WNBA players walking off the court during the anthem is worse than kneeling during the anthem to me. Thoughts? 100% correct. It's much worse. And the reason why they did that is because it's worse. They're trying to get some attention, because nobody watches their sport. So they thought, okay, if we do, a little PR stunt, but it's going to backfire, because if they had any fans, they're going to go away. They don't want to be part of this. You're doing too much. You might have been able to fool some people about this whole kneeling not being a flag protest. But we all know what's going on. They're kneeling because they're protesting against the flag. That's what's going on. The whole WNBA stunt sealed that deal for me. It was already pretty much sealed. Now that they put shrink wrap on it and send it on out to the store. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you to Scott Henderson, who says ABL is factually right. Hey, I try to be as much as I can. Thank you to Victor Jenkins, who says, keep on giving your 2 cents, my brother, and your analysis is spot on too. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to It's Just Me, who says ABL speaks the truth and gets facts before making the video. True reporting, not the hocus pocus we are spoon-fed by the mainstream media. Hey, that's what I meant to. Giving you the straight facts. So I don't want to just put out a video and then have all my facts, all my ducks in a row. I want to make sure that I'm right, and I give you some good information. The mainstream, they put out anything in the mainstream media. They don't really care. It's like the whole thing with the young kid, Nick Sandmann. They put out whatever they wanted about him with no facts, without doing their due diligence, without digging for information. And I don't do that at all. Thank you to Interracial Patriots, who says, ABL just got our We the People t-shirt. We absolutely love it. And wore it in our video. Your merchandise is the bomb. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate y'all. And shout out to the Interracial Patriots. You guys subscribe to them on the YouTubes. Again, Interracial Patriots. Shout out to them. Thank you to the Gemini guy, who says NFAC threatens to attack police in 4 weeks. Oh, really? So they're going to have some kind of really full-on anti-government attack? Well, we'll see about that. And if they put it out there and we know about it, the feds do too. So they're going to break that up ASAP. You might get some kind of mole to come in there and break them apart before they even try to get to the police. For sure. Thank you to Signor Nasuno, who says, I hate that YouTube gets 30% of this chat donation, but I want to support ABL. Hey, it's all good. Whatever you could do, however you do it, I appreciate you. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Aluk to Freedom, who says, has anyone seen my white privilege? I'm still looking for it. Hey, I've not seen it, man, but if I find it, I'll make sure you get it to you, man. I'll send it to you, UPS and all that kind of good stuff, man, because you know what? I get free postal because I'm black. That's pretty much how that goes. Thank you to Lauren Parker for your donation. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says San Francisco Giant players stood tall, proud, and did not kneel. I saw that. Shout out to him. His name is Sam Coonrod. I'll put it on the screen before you right quick, just so we can see that particular part. Now, remember this whole thing where the Giants players were kneeling, had this big, long, black rope for some reason? I'm not sure where you have a big black rope to be anti-racist. I think lynching right away, but anyway, I digress. He did not kneel, and he said, in part, I'm a Christian, so I just believe that I can't kneel before anything besides God. I just can't get on board with a couple things I've read about Black Lives Matter and about how they lean towards Marxism. And he also said about being anti-nuclear family. So yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to my man, Sam Coonrod, for standing up for what's right. And we need more guys like him that are not just going to bend the knee literally and do whatever the mob tells them to do. So shout out to my man for saying that. I appreciate him, because it's too much of this stuff just going around. Everybody pretty much just been into it because they don't want to be seen as racist and cause a stir. Nah, man, stand up for what you believe in. Stand for what's right. So shout out to him. That was Giants pitcher Sam Coonrod. Major League Baseball Giants pitcher Sam Coonrod. Alrighty. Thank you to Retro Gamer 81, who says, Joe Rogan moving to Texas. What are your thoughts on city folk moving to more conservative areas? I commented on that video, actually, on the Joe Rogan Clips YouTube channel. I made a comment, and I said, it's fine if you want to come to Texas, Joe Rogan, but don't bring California BS with you. You know, and I also said that he cannot continue his drug habit in Texas because, as far as I know, weed is not legal in Texas. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't live there. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But don't bring your California stuff with you. As a matter of fact, somebody said something on Twitter that I want to highlight right quick because they kind of encapsulated what I think. All right. Now, I said something about California and Texans and whatnot. And matter of fact, okay, they responded to my thing about the weed and Joe Rogan. And somebody said, I thought it was about freedom in Texas. And then the person said, my thoughts exactly. You can't buy hard liquor on Sunday. You can't buy weed legally. And the abortions have waiting periods. Lived in Austin for 11 months. The only thing better there was the DMV. This is a Californian talking about Texas not being better than California. So her thing was you can't get liquor, weed, and an abortion on demand. So that right there, that's a California mind state. People may think, oh, it's just weed, but you're not really understanding the whole culture that you're trying to bring. You're trying to bring all of the things from California that made California bad. Just, liquor whenever, wherever, weed whenever, wherever, abortion wherever, whatever. Those kinds of things bring other things with it. You're going to have a general decay of society as a result. People don't understand that, because also with those things come people that are going to be able to enact those things into law. And it won't just stop there with the liquor and an abortion. They're going to do more and more and more and more. That's why Austin is becoming like a little San Francisco, like a bunch of homeless people out there. The things you bring with you from where you live, the policies are going to follow you if you still want those things to be there. I said on my Twitter, I was like, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Don't try to make Rome into, Russia. Have Rome be Rome. And that's that. So yeah, when you move to a new place, you have to adapt to the new place. Leave the old lifestyle behind. If you want the old lifestyle, stay where you are and don't move. That's how I feel about it. So shout out to Mod Q23 who says, ABL, did you see anything about the toddler with the grown man kneeling on his neck? I saw that. Yeah, that was really crazy. It was a toddler. Boy had to have been about 2 or 3 years old maybe. And it was a grown adult male, not his father. I think it might have been the boy's mother's boyfriend. Kneeling on his neck, talking about BLM now, MF. He was arrested. Locked up, of course. He was already on probation. That was really crazy, but I'm not surprised. And the guy that was doing that with the whole neck kneeling on the little boy, he probably was like biracial or something, and the baby was white, of course. And it was I forget who it was, some kind of professor or something. Somebody that is somebody encouraged the man to kneel further into the child's neck. It's like, what are we even doing here? Black guy was saying this. It's like, these people are crazy. And this is what I'm talking about, these so-called peaceful protesters are all nut jobs. They're not peaceful if you're doing stuff like that, or if you're encouraging things like that. You're not peaceful at all. Thank you to Brewer95, who says, I love watching ABL, is always right on point. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Charlie Fisher, who says, awesome work. Thank you, sir. Thank you to Poofy, who says, Tate Wheeler had full security detail while at the peaceful protest. GTFO, wheeling deal. Exactly. If it's so peaceful there, why you got to have a full security detail? I'm trying to figure that out for myself. How does that make any sense? It makes no sense. Thank you to Robin Constantinopoulos for your donation. It says 100. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Andrew Matson, who says, you are a great American. This is a communist revolution that's going on. Exactly. It's all that there is. No Good says, hey, ABL, Ghost of Tsushima on PS4. Maybe worth bringing back ABL Gaming and give it a shot. Hey, if I could, I would, but I have so little time. It's like I can't even really do it. If I can find some time somewhere, I might bring ABL Gaming back. So, you know, that's not a no, but it's also not a yes, but it's a maybe if I get some time. Shout out to Good Bad, who says, how dare federal officers protect federal buildings? Trump 2020. Exactly. I read that one earlier. Thank you to Apu Bakar, All Puff Daddy, who says, awesome chat with Beverly, Brandon, Derek, and yourself last Thursday. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Liberal critics say y'all have internalized racism and self-hate, or you're just saying things to please conservatives or doing for money. Response. You know, that's a good question because I get that all the time. Oh, you're doing that for money. You're just trying to get paid. I mean, the real money is on the left. I mean, look how much money Black Lives Matter got. After George Floyd died, they got $20 million in one day. 20 million. So if I'm trying to get money, I'll be a BLM supporter. I'll be a Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot. I would get government monies. I would get all kind of stuff. I become an NGO. The real money, the real grift is on the left, okay? Because then you get into some deep state stuff and some swampy stuff and the DNC, and that's where the real money is at. I knew a guy, I won't say his name or nothing like that, but he was going around the country giving out speeches on white privilege and white, you know, just basically black guys saying that orange man bad, white man bad, right? He was getting paid to give these talks around the country. He was getting paid 80 grand per month. And you don't even know who he is, do you? Not even a famous guy. So imagine how much guys like Tim Wise, D-Ray McKesson, people that work for BLM, the founders of it, and everybody else, MoveOn.org, how much are they really getting paid to go out here and be who they are, giving these talks around the country? 80 grand a month to give anti-white talks, and you don't know him. So if I'm trying to get money, I would go over there. That's the grift. I'm just being myself. I risk more by being who I am. You see what I'm saying? So nah, it's not even like that. I'm just being myself. And if I could act this well, I need to be in Hollywood, for real. So shout out to Erica B, who says, this guy is softer than a foam pit. He thinks he's being hip. I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to, you're probably talking about the mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler. Thank you to Rosa Bianchi, who says, just saying hello and thanking you for your videos. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Oh, yeah. Also, yeah, Al Sharpton, the Clintons, the Obamas. Oh, my goodness. Everybody. Ben Crump, the ambulance chaser, the woke lawyer, you know, getting paid all these big settlements, you know, $80 million, $50 million. Come on, man. Like, let's be real. Cut it out. Shout out to G-Dubs, who became an ABL superstar. Definitely appreciate you for that. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says the left is griping that President Trump is sending in federal law enforcement, yet they would complain if he did not. They love to have it both ways. Exactly. Right. If Trump does nothing, then you don't care about the country burning and you're just sitting back playing golf, orange man bad. But if he sends them in, are you trying to send your special personal army to the streets of America? Orange man bad. Go golf. Don't do this. You can't wait for losing. You only want to just attack the guy because you don't like him. That's it. It doesn't matter what he does. You're going to attack him regardless of what. Thank you to Hiker67, who says, oh, become an ABL superstar. Thank you for that. Thank you to Apu Bakar, All Puff Daddy, who says, hey, ABL, I love your voice imitation. Say, if USA were a racist country, how are Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Steve Harvey, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Wanda Sykes able to do comedy and become millionaires? People that say that America is racist are not telling the truth. That's just the bottom line. The long and short are not telling the truth. This is not a racist country at all. This is the best country on planet Earth. Everybody wants to come here. Nobody really wants to leave. If you leave the country and just say, I don't want to be American anymore, you're on drugs. You're getting high, because everybody wants to come here. There's a long line to try and get here. There's a very short line to leave and never return. That's facts. Thank you to Cervix a lot for the donation. Thank you to Apu Bakar, All Puff Daddy, who says, R.I.P. Burnell Chamel. Where are BLM? They don't care about black men that die at the hands of other black men. They only care when they die at the hands of a white cop or a white person in general. They care when it's politically expedient to do so. And that's big facts. All right. Shout out to Derek Osgood, who says, somebody mentioned mine about ABL gaming. I was watching some of your videos last night, and I was just thinking you need to do more reviews. Yeah, I need to do more reviews. If I don't do the gaming again, I may need to do some more reviews of like television, movies, and stuff like that. But my time is just so limited, because I do the merch and I do the videos, the streams, the articles. So if I can get some time, if I can get my time better managed and get one more video in a day, I probably can do it. But that's the only obstacle that I'm facing right now as far as ABL gaming trying to restart. That's all. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Dylan Hurst, who says, ABL get Modern Renaissance Man on Thursday night panel with Wnba Tatum. Hey, good idea. I pitched it to him. We got a pretty long list of guys that want to get on. That show was really good. We got to get more people on, though, and, keep it going. Thank you to Hiker, who says, just became a member. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Jazzy Cat 23, who says, the rioters should be forced to pay damages for all the destruction. Exactly. Ain't no question. Thank you to Charles Hunter Jr., who says, rules, laws, regulations only matter to the left when it is in their favor. Double standards are the only standards. Exactly. I said it before. If they didn't have double standards, they would have no standards. That's facts. Robin says, who should run for Canada? Or who would I choose to run for Canada? I have no idea. That's a good question, but I don't really know. I don't know a lot about Canadian politics, like who's up there to actually run. So I really don't know that answer. Thank you to, let me see, Good Bad, who says, experts say if you support BLM, you're less likely to contract COVID-19. Exactly, right. You could be out there at the dance party doing whatever you want, twerking, shaking, doing whatever, and that's fine. It could be 5,000 people, no social distancing, minimal mask wearing, and that's okay. But if I go to Walmart and I got my mask with my nose out, then that's going to be a thing that I shouldn't do. I should get locked up, all this, that, and the third. It's pretty strange how that works. Thank you to Jake PV1 for the donation that says on set with the emoji. Thank you to JDP, who said keep up the good work. ABL will do. Thank you for your very kind words. Thank you to Sierra Gold, who says, Anthony, thanks for exposing the lies of the left. Hey, I can't do nothing else. Thank you to Sarah Maker for becoming an ABL superstar. Thank you to Dirk Diggler Guy, who says the spike in the South is them counting illegals jumping the fence that have corona. Well, there you go. Thank you to Byron 8899, who says the hardest part on politics is who's really behind riots and where did bribery money laundering occur. Just my 2 cents. Hey, that's a good point, because there is monies that are being exchanged hands. Let's not get that confused at all. There most certainly is money that exchanges hands in these so-called riots, really, any so-called protests, really riots, insurrections, and whatnot. Thank you to Will Redding, who says Fox News is dead and we're stuck with the rotting corpse called Rhino News. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I watch Fox because they're like the last of the Mohicans, but I think they got an arrow straight to the head and they kind of bleeding out right now, unfortunately. Thank you to Milos, who says Tucker is the GOAT. Keep it up, your Serbian sub. Shout out to Serbia and shout out to you, Milos. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Sherry for the donation, or Cherry. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, ever heard of Vosh? If so, you should debate him. I saw Vosh a little bit on JOP today. but I didn't see that full video. But I've seen him before. He mentioned me before in the video, and he was saying the whole thing about trying to make money and stuff like that. He's kind of like, guys like that have that Dunning-Kruger. They think they're smart, but they're really not. I don't think that I'm necessarily super smart. I'm just a guy that uses my brain. I kind of just have common sense. He thinks he's like really smart, big brain, 5,000 IQ, but he's not. He's like a regular normie that is speaking in a way about things that are bad, trying to justify it, if that makes any sense. Thank you to Ellen for your donations with the emoji behind the buildings. And also, yeah, 2 of them. Thank you for that, Ellen. Thank you to Long Rider, who says, this is a donation. Thank you to Frank Apt, who says, Tim Pool referred me to you. I'm white and I love what you say. I'm a fan. Hey, shout out to my man Tim Pool for that. Hey, what video was that? I want to capture that from my memories, put it in my vault. Let me see. Shout out to Wnba for the donation from Mexico. Thank you to my man Charles Turner Jr., who says, why do organizations, people like the Smithsonian, label certain traits like a nuclear family, hard work, etc. as whiteness when Asian Americans have the highest income and most intact families? You know what? That's a good question. They're just trying to attack white people. They don't like white people. And they also want it to be a thing that we shouldn't even aspire to as non-whites. It's really weird. You know, like I've said many times before, a white liberal extremist is the same as a white supremacist. It's the exact same thing. They want to have certain things for themselves and not allow us to have any of it for ourselves. You know, they want to have their own little society, own little culture, and keep us out. They want to exclude us while saying that the other side are excluding. They want to blame the other side for it. It's really weird how that works. Thank you to Fluffy Pig Monster, who says, ABL in the future, BLM and the organization will be viewed as another racist group as long as they continue walking this path that they have endeavored in, especially hand in hand with Antifa. Exactly. Yeah, we're going to see it in the future differently than we are right now. You know, times are going to change and we're going to see what's going on. We're going to go back the other direction. Right now, we're going way far into the left. I'm talking about where, you know, ain't no such thing as gender. You could do whatever you want. We're going far in that direction where we're going to turn around and go back the other direction, in my humble opinion. Shout out to Ellen for your donations. I appreciate for the rockets. I appreciate that. Thank you to Justice, who says, do you think students should go to school with COVID? Yeah, because kids are less likely to actually transmit it. And they're less likely to actually have any kind of complications from it. And the reality is the virus ain't going nowhere. So how long do you keep kids out of school? And also parents got to go to work at a certain point. They can't just stay home all the time and be with their kids. So you're messing with society, with the fabric of society, when you keep kids away from school for an extended period of time. That's not really going to last too long. So they got to go back to school. They'll be all right. Thank you to Tony Boswell, who says, nothing but respect, tell it like it is, smash the like button and show support. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. Thank you to PRKA1 for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Cervix a lot, who says, what do you think about ROTC ABL? I don't know a lot about it, but I mean, I guess it's cool. You know, you in school, go ahead and join. Why not? Thank you to Will Redding, who says, hold on. Will Redding says, WNBA walked out on reality years ago. Exactly. Thank you to Juan Rios, who said, repent, judgment is coming. Thank you to Zedoch's King Sword, who says, stolen joke, Lori Lightfoot looks like Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. She looks like Beetlejuice from the movie. keep it all the way 1,000. Thank you to Jaja, who says, Lightfoot looks like the offspring of Beetlejuice and Gollum. Hilarious. Have you seen her wife looking like Lurch from, what's that, the Addams Family? No cap, as the cool kids would say. Thank you to Tender Temple, who says, can you do an update on the pregnant woman harassed by the black woman? If I can, yes, I will do an update on that. Thank you to Praying for the Rapture, who said, legendary word. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Thank you to Jimmy B, who says, I'd rather watch women's bowling than WNBA. Hey, I'd rather watch paint dry. And I'm being 1,000% serious. I'd rather watch paint dry. Straight up. Thank you to Greg Wessel, who says, I would love to share a conversation and a drink. Thank you, sir, for the videos. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Thank you to Poofy, who says, sir, 3 claps for everyone who knows smashing up businesses is not peaceful protesting. Exactly. 1000%. Okay, we got calls on deck. Super chats on. Hey, you guys are very good. Super chat. Thank y'all for that. I'll read more at the end of the show, but it's time for the calls now. So the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. All right, let's try to get Skype working properly. If it wants to, that'd be good. And it should be. Make sure I'm good over here on my end. All righty, again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, I'd rather watch paint dry, for real. Now I know you're online. We'll speak it to.
Hey, hold on. Let me pause it so I don't get you. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a couple months, my brother. I'll tell you what. It's just craziness out there. I'm from North Carolina, David Jones. That's my name. I was going to ask you, ABL, what is going on with the mainstream media? They're asking Donald Trump if he would accept the election results when they haven't even accepted the results of the 2016 election. What do you think?
That's a really good point. You know, and it's the same thing that they also prop up those that don't accept the results, because Stacey Abrams, she's on TV all the time talking about how she got the election stolen from her in Georgia and she really won. It's like, no, you didn't win, man. Brian Kemp is the governor. He won the election and he won by a pretty big margin. So why is she allowed to be on TV talking about certain things? And they keep talking about how it was voter suppression and all kind of stuff like that. So they floating conspiracy theories. They're giving her all kind of excuses why she didn't win. But then they want to attack Trump talking about, oh, you got to accept it. You got to just, and then what they want to do is get him to say yes, because if he says yes, then he can't challenge any kind of obvious voter suppression, any kind of obvious voter fraud that could be happening right now.
Thing I was going to mention, I know you're going to have I haven't been able to get on for a couple months, but hey, I was just going to ask you, you know, I noticed about a month ago when you were talking about the 27,000 babies aborted, and I had some longtime friends and stuff like that really get them to me, and the only thing I was saying, okay, well, if we had 55,000 abortions since 1973, and 27,000 of them are black babies, that means there's only 28,000 of other that, and so Planned Parenthood set up in black neighborhoods. I mean, the thing that got me in trouble was John Lewis. He's one of the main baby exterminators there ever was. And then you got Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and they want to lionize like John Lewis, and it's just crazy. And I got in trouble. People are mad at me, but those are facts. You can't change that.
Yeah, I mean, it's facts. I mean, if it's reality, it's reality. You can't change it. People get mad at the way the world is. If you're upset at the way the world is, then change what's happening. Vote to change. Don't just cry about the reality. That's not going to fix it.
Well, they're saying that, you know, I'm being a bigot. I'm sure I'm white, but I've voted Republican since 1979. When I could vote, I was 18 in 1979. I've never changed from the Republican Party. I knew before then everything that happened in the 60s of 10th grade. I mean, of just knowing what the Republican Party was about. I had some deep things in my family. I even had some Democrats in my family. But, I mean, as far as, hey, I'll let you go then. You all have a great night. And I was glad you started off on me tonight.
It's all good.
Good night, ABL.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely
All right,
appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank y'all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video. Like the video. share the video, do all that good stuff. Also, go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. I don't know what you're waiting on. If you subscribe, click the bells right there. You can click that bell. You get notified whenever I go live and/or post a new video. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype in the description box right below the video. Add me on that to get right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, live on air. All right, let's keep on rocking. Let me see. Yeah, so the actual numbers, I think, for black babies, it's over 21 million since 1973 Roe v. Wade, but it's probably more than that. That's just an estimate that I have. At least 21 to 22 million since Roe v. Wade, 1973. So this is really a serious issue that we're dealing with here. And, you know, people want to kind of like downplay it, but there's nothing to downplay. Take it seriously. All righty, Valentine, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, baby? How you doing today, brother?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Good. Happy weekend. I have a question for you, man. I didn't know nobody to ask this question, and I know ABL, trusted source, is the person to ask. Do you think LeBron James will be walking off on the Chinese national anthem?
No way, no way, no how. Ain't gonna do it because, you know, they've been trying to bait him into it, talking about China, but he understands that in America he has freedom. He can say what he wants to say, but in China, ain't no freedom. If you don't do what we ask in China, speaking for them, then you just won't get the money. So he's not trying to ruin that Chinese money. He will not walk off.
Plain and simple, man. And it's a shame, to be honest. When these women at the WNBA, they walk off on the national anthem, China's clapping. They're like, yay, thank you so much for doing our job. This is exactly what we want. An insurrection from the inside. I mean, and Americans, sadly, don't see it. The Yankees, man, they broke my heart. Dominican, love baseball. But I'm thinking for the people that are not Yankees fans, right? The Yankees have a real strict, like, personal policy, right? You see when the Yankees, when players get taken to the Yankees, they have to shave, they have to cut their hair and all that stuff. So I'm thinking that the Yankees, they're not going to be down with this political activism. And then they broke my heart.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, man. I saw that. And no, I didn't think that baseball would fall. I didn't think they would do it, but they fell really hard. They fell harder than the NBA, really.
It's funny because out of like the major ones that a lot of people follow, baseball was the last one. I guess they rediscovered racism last again. They rediscovered that they were oppressed last again. But what gets me mad, and to be honest, and I think I'm gonna have to take the mantle of this message, and is that speaking to all conservatives. I'm speaking to all conservatives. I know I have a big platform when I call onto your show. Thank you, and I really appreciate that. But I want to send a message to all conservatives. You see this right here? This is conservative dollars. Conservative dollars. These companies are playing the stupid game and they're not taking into account conservative dollars. And this is why they play these stupid games. Until we conservatives take into account that this money, this American $20 bill and whatever amount you have, you take it and it's a conservative $20 bill and you make these companies value your conservative dollars. These companies will keep doing exactly what they're doing. They're taking you for a fool, because sadly, and I say it again, sadly, we scream it just like the left. We scream, boycott this company, boycott that company. Yet 2 days later, we're buying the products from this company. I feel very sad because I wanted to watch the Major League Baseball, and we've been primed because of the whole quarantine situation. We've been primed to see baseball and to see all sports. Like you say, you want to see the NBA, but you can't bear to see the NBA with a Black Lives Matter sign on the floor, right? Like you turn into basketball to take your mind off politics and of the craziness, and yet you go and you see that politics all the time. I'm gonna have to take my conservative money and keep it in my conservative wallet.
That's right on point. That's how you do it.
Man. You have to, because it's I mean, it's enough is enough, man. Where are we gonna go? I mean, where are we gonna land, man? These people just keep taking it more extreme to the extreme. Lori Lightfoot, instead of welcoming in the federal forces, the federal agents, she's worrying about taking down statues of Columbus, and that's what she did. instead of worrying about the crime in her city. I mean, it's insanity where we're at, but hey, man, sadly, this is America. But let me ask you, do you think, and I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Okay.
Do you think we conservatives, look at the death of this guy, the black guy that they killed in Milwaukee, should we be taking up a more of a proactive and defenseful type of stance, us conservatives? Because you say that name conservative to the left, to the extreme left, they taking us as fools. Like, who are conservatives? And look, this is why they do what they do to us. Should we be taking a little bit of more of an offensive stance to these people? What do you think, man? Because I'm seeing it like conservatives are being played and we're looking like fools.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean. Like, how would we go about doing that? Like, I want to hear what you would do. Then I'll tell you if I'm with you.
Meaning, I'm not taking up arms or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, be a little bit more forceful when it comes to, answer back, talk back, respond back to a lot of these offenses from these people, from these liberals, that they just feel emboldened to come and disrupt conservative and Trump rallies and getting conservatives' faces. We cannot put on a Trump hat or a Trump sign, depending on what region of the country you are. We cannot wear that or put that on our car or wear that on our person. Yet they can do that. They could wear Joe Biden all day long and nobody will say anything. Conservatives will not go up to their faces, yet they see that on us. A MAGA hat is a hate symbol, yet they keep doing it to us because there's no repercussions.
You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, though, I think the great equalizer is right to bear arms, because you see some Trump rallies where they get infested with some of these leftist protesters or really rioters, people that want to fight, and then it's an issue. But I saw the rally in Virginia, the gun rally, and there was none of that there. Nobody from the left tried to interrupt. It was all good. Why? Because everybody had arms and everybody was peaceful, and we showed an example of how to do things properly. When you have these crazy left riots, they leave trash on the ground, food, water bottles, human waste, everything, drug needles, whatever you have, all on the ground every single time they do it. But when we had that rally in Virginia for the gun stuff, there was not a speck of trash on the ground. You had guys going on the ground on hands and knees, picking up the smallest pieces of trash off of the ground. It looked like the park was cleaner after we left than it was before we got there. Okay, so we got to show an example, be armed, be prepared, and be ready to defend ourselves, rather than just kind of being sitting ducks, waiting for the left to come over there and do whatever they want to do. That's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Because all I'm getting is from a lot of people, a lot of conservatives, and a lot of people who are showing these views is that they feel that they're scared, man. Like, yeah, they just feel scared. And I mean, what are we gonna do? But let me not take more of your time up. I know you got a busy weekend and a lot of people on the line. God bless you, my brother, and take care. All right.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Peace.
All right. Shout out to my man, the Valentine Show. Big up to him. Great caller, great content. But yeah, that's the main thing. And yeah, shout out to Hood Conservative. Big up to Hood Conservative. I saw him. He did a video. He mentioned me on it. So shout out to him. Salty Cracker. I've not seen Salty Cracker. Roger W. Talking about. I've not seen them, but I'll check them out. And what else we got? Oh, of course, we still got calls going on, obviously. 434-658-1220. All right, calling on the line. I'm speaker to 917.
Hi, it's Joy. And I had called you once before, and nice to speak to you again. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Okay. I'm calling because it's really something bothering me about the fact that patriots are not really doing much. We're all sitting back. We don't know what to do, and I understand that. But I think we've gotten beyond the point where we can sit back. And I'm not saying we need to be violent, but we need to show that we're there. And I mean, I'd like your opinion on this, but this is my opinion. And the reason why I called is because one of your people donating money had placed a similar request in. Like Trump is standing by alone. And he's restricted as far as what he can do to stop these rioters. And like, in my opinion, we should have like 5,000 men out there in Portland the day that the feds arrive. And they should just say, they should go up to them and say, what do you need? You know, we'll stand behind you. We'll stand in front of you. Whatever you need, we want to be your backup. Because, I mean, we had like 12 police, you know, or feds in front of the courthouse or whatever it is, the federal building. And these people are like 2,000 people are out there throwing everything at them. I mean, it's just crazy. And the left wants every federal agent with an ID and a name on their, you know, so they're going to be dragged into court if they do anything. And I think the Patriots should have bulletproof vests because we don't know, you know, who's going to have what type of weapons. But helmets, masks, and all dressed the same, so you don't even know who we are. But everybody should be out there, and mainly the men, you know. And you got to team up now. You've got to help Portland. Whoever lives in that area needs to team up, in my opinion. And then if, you know, wherever we are, we have to have a crowd, and we have to figure out a way to show our presence without being violent, but to show that we are here, because they're running over us and they're going to, you know, our country's being destroyed and nobody's doing anything. You know, we have to do this before Election Day. We can't just show up on Election Day, because they'll be bombing the election places or whatever by then. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's my opinion. I'd like yours.
Okay. Well,
what do you think?
I see where you're coming from, but one thing about it is, how does the government, if you have the federal agents out there and or the police, how do they tell the difference between, you know, the Antifa people and those of us that are trying to fight against them? How can they tell the difference? If they're trying to maintain order, how do they really know who is who?
Well, someone needs to communicate with them and, you know, I mean, do it with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, not just show up like these Antifa people. Just, you know, find some way of communicating so that we can be a backup to whatever Trump does. You know, like we might need to stand, like I'm not on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, but we might have to stand in front of these cops. Or they might only have a couple of hundred people, and they might need thousands that are in the way of these buildings or something, you know? And we need to form a relationship with Trump, you know, what Trump needs. So I don't know how to do it. That's why I'm saying it, because we all have to step up. And we have to do everything we can do, I think. And a physical presence is what we need to have. But we want to stay safe. We don't want anybody getting hurt. But we have to show that, no, we're not going to put up with this. I mean, that's just, you know, like if someone could communicate with the agency that's going to be there. The police are told to stand down in Portland. They cannot do anything, all right? Their whole government has shut them down. So the police are out of this. They can't respond at all, I mean, as far as I've seen. So now that's why the feds are coming in to protect the building. So, you know, why couldn't we communicate someone that, you know, say we want to be there, we want to be a presence, we don't want to be violent, but you also have to protect yourself. That's why I say, like, every patriot needs to get a bulletproof vest. And I'm talking too much, ABL, but anyway, I'm sorry. I'm so angry.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
My God, I'm watching all these people doing YouTubes, and they're not like you, ABL. You know, like, you're somebody I go to as a source. There's all these little rinky-dink YouTubers, you know, just complaining, and like, no one's doing anything. Like, we have to make a plan. Okay, I'll be quiet, and I'd love your advice if you have any, or your opinion, and then I'm hanging up. Or I can hang up now, and you can discuss it.
Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, you know, all I can really say is if you're going to go somewhere like Portland and you want to be right wing, now you consider the hate group, right? Remember the Proud Boys? And I've met these guys too, and they're really nice guys. But you want to do something like that on the right? Now you're white supremacists, even if you're not even white, right? And I met the one guy, I forget his name, Carlos. I met him, not white at all, but they want to call him white supremacist. So it's like, it's kind of a weird thing. The best I could say is wherever you live, you know, just protect where you live at. That's what I could say. And a lot of people that would want to come out there and protect the area like Portland or show up, and they're not going to live in Portland. They're going to be in other places. And these Antifa people know that. That's why they don't go out there. That's why they go to places like the city, because they're kind of more protected by the Ted Wheeler and everybody else that's out there. But if you come out some of these country corners, it's not going to go the same way. You know, it's not going to be Portland. You know, it's got to be all hands on deck. If the mayor is saying one thing, the police are saying one thing, the feds are, you know, kind of not there or they're not allowed. It's just, you got to have everybody, you got to have all hands on deck to make things go right. So let me get to my next call. All right, caller, who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Rick from Atlanta.
All righty, man, what's going on?
So first off, man, we love you. I just got to say that. I know you need it. We need it. Everybody needs it, man. We love you out here in Atlanta and all over America, all over the world.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And, you know, you give people the most important thing, and that's hope. As long as we see people like you fighting for us, we know we have a chance.
Right.
So anyway, I taught 8th grade English for 13 years in inner city Philly, right? 99% of my students were impoverished African Americans. I've seen things people can't even imagine. Kids coming in with dirty clothes. You know, I need to take their clothes home and wash them. Students getting physically, sexually assaulted, hungry, living in drug houses, no heat, no fathers. I had at least one pregnancy every single year. And one time it was a 7th grader.
Crazy.
The list of issues that a student goes through is infinite before they even get to school. And we got people out here protesting the police. I can't even bring up real issues or I'm branded as a racist.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I've seen that. I've seen all that before too. You know, I've been in a drug house myself. I didn't live there, thank God, but I know kids that did live in a dope house, and I've seen all that. And people don't really want to talk about, like, they can't talk, like you said, they can't talk about it, or they're deemed a racist. If you're a guy like me, you want to talk about it, then you get deemed as self-hating or a coon or whatever. That's just language meant to prevent from talking about the issue. They want to sweep it under the rug and pretend it's not there, but it is there. These are real things going on that must be addressed, and if we don't address it, the problem will continue to get worse. So, I mean, you're right on point with that, and I think that we could do some things to fix it. The main thing I always say is that this welfare state, that the system of government dependence kind of fuels all this destruction, because what happens is people don't think all the time about having a family together, 2 parents in the house, because you got Uncle Sam to back you up. And then when there's not 2 parents in the house, where there's no responsibility, but there's no real motivation to go out there and do something for yourself, you're going to have a lot of other problems that happen as a result. And these problems are going to affect the kids that grow up in it, and it becomes a cycle. So you got to at a certain point stop that cycle and have things go back to the way they should be.
And it's like, where are the celebrities and the athletes, you know, donating to these causes? You said it before, 20 million on day one. Could you imagine if that went directly to, you know, the people, like the African Americans? Like, all this money being raised and none of it is going to directly help people's lives.
Not at all. I mean, it was so crazy that they raised 20 million after George Floyd died, like in one day, but they didn't even give a dime to George Floyd's family, let alone the black community as a whole. So I mean, it's crazy, and I feel like part of my job is to reveal that information to people so they understand what's going on, so they don't just donate blindly because they want to help or out of guilt. You got to understand what's really going on here, and the games that are being played with us, so we can, just not do that anymore and just wake up and see what's really going on, see what the real problems are, and work to try and address those.
Yeah, and I think people across all spectrums were pressured so much to put up fundraisers for BLM right away, or else, they were canceled. Like gamers, content creators like yourself, if you weren't a part of that, the big tech would just shut you down.
Yeah, definitely. But see, I don't face that because, I'm black or whatever, but a lot of people, they do face it. But you know what? Some people have faced it and stood up, and when they stand up, a lot of times they don't get canceled. Just like the pitcher from the Giants, he stood up literally from kneeling and said, nah, I'm not really with this because BLM, I read about him, and they're talking about no nuclear family and Marxism. And I've not heard about them being canceled or anything like that. Sometimes you got to understand at a certain point, some things are worth more than everything else. Standing up for what's right is really worth it. And I think if more of us did that and weren't so afraid to get canceled or whatever, then things would be better as a result.
Yeah. See, as a teacher, I know, like, if I were still in the classroom, I would have probably been fired by now, because there's no way that I would have looked at my students and said, the reason why the biggest problem you're facing is racism from white people. How can I look at them and say that when they look around, everybody trying to help them is white? Well, generally speaking,
right.
I'm not, but it's just, I wouldn't do it. And I know that if I were still there, I'd be gone. So last thing, and, it's just, you said you're kind of, immune to being canceled because you're black, but I think eventually, especially when they gain the power that they seek, the left, they're going to cancel everybody. Have you thought of doing something like independently from YouTube to get away from them, and maybe partner with some other people and do something off of YouTube? Where do you see yourself in the future, I guess, is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
To answer his question, as far as the future, I'm not really sure. I think that if it comes to a point where I'm not on YouTube, then I think that we'll have bigger problems than just YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not really worried about that, but I think I'll probably be in politics because you guys keep asking me, when are you going to run? Do it. I get that every day. Even in my regular everyday life, aside from, YouTube, people that I know, like people that I see every day, they tell me the same thing. So that'll probably be what I end up doing. Not really sure where, if it'll be here in Tennessee or back in Virginia, I'm not really sure. But I'll probably end up doing that. And have my website, I'm building that up. So regardless of what happens, I always have my website. And that's pretty much my backup, I don't really worry too much about that. I think that if I keep doing the right thing, which I have been doing, I'll be just fine. I'll be okay. All right. Let's get to some more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Call you on the line, 467. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, I'm calling. This is ABL?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
Christine.
All righty. What's going on?
Oh, I'm on. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. This is what I wanted to say. I work in social media, and when Black Lives Matter first came out, people had an option of discussing politics on their page. But now, as of June, we had to make a black square post, and then if you didn't, you were targeted. And then you have to put donations and all sorts of links to Black Lives Matter. And then if you don't, they put you on like a blacklist. And then they will go after, let's say you're an influencer on Instagram, then they will go after your sponsors. So I'm really tired of the left being able to push anything that they want, and we have to go along with it. And we can never say that we support Trump, but then we have to pretend that we support Black Lives Matter. And it's not that we don't support black individuals, but then we have to say Black Lives Matter as in police brutality, and maybe we don't agree with that. Maybe we don't think that that's the main issue going on with the black community. So I hope that if Trump wins, I pray he wins, but I hope that we can be able to not be forced to say things that we don't agree with. I pray that the tide can turn, basically.
Yeah, I think that it will, because people are starting to wake up and they're starting to just realize that this is kind of just a corporate, a money play, and it's not really serious to try and help anybody. And it's actually hurting more than it's helping. People are getting shot and killed over Black Lives Matter. You got black folks getting killed. You got more black folks that have been shot and killed in these so-called protests for Black Lives Matter than have been killed unarmed by police unjustly in all of 2019. So it's like, okay, if it's about Black Lives Matter and it's to protect us, then why is it hurting us? People are starting to realize that, and they're pulling away from it.
Absolutely. And when I hear stories of people like David Dorn, that's a hero in my book. That's a classy man of any race. It doesn't matter what race he was. But he was a classy individual, and he didn't get the respect that he deserved. And there was footage of him lying on the ground, taking his last breath, and that broke my heart. I was so angry, and I'm a little emotional, but we need to change. We need to stand up as Republicans, as conservatives, or even as independents. Something needs to change, because they're just taking over everything, every single thing, and we're not allowed to say anything or else we'll get canceled.
Right. I'm with you.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it. And keep doing what you do, because my family, we adore you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience on the internet. And if you want one of these hats I have on my head right here, you can go to my website, ablmerch.com. Check it out through the link in the box. Matter of fact, let me put the link right here in the chat for you so you're able to get to it immediately. That is ablmerch.com. And if you want one of these flags that are behind me, they're available on BHE Designs. I have a link in the box, a special link, so you can tell everybody that I sent you. Hold on, let me get to this link right here. And I'll put that right here in the box as well. The calls are still coming in. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 239, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Yay, I finally got through. I'm so excited to talk to you. I just found you recently, and it's just so refreshing to hear you. You're like a voice of common sense. And I love listening to all these other people that feel the same way. I'm not sure. I guess my thought is this all just seems like a communist takedown. Like they're taking away our statues, they're taking away our history, they're using the BLM as a mechanism to create hate and divide between our country so that we all fight with each other. What are your thoughts on that?
I kind of missed some of that. Repeat the last part for me.
It just seems like this BLM group, it's being funded by people that obviously want to create a divide within our country.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they've already admitted. I'm sorry, but they've already admitted that on TV. Like they've already said that that's their whole focus and their goal is to they're trained Marxists. And they want to get Trump out of office. Now, I'm not sure about anybody else, but I'm not really sure what Marxism and being anti-Trump got to do with Black Lives Matter. I'm not really sure how those things mix.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. I was just watching a girl from Yugoslavia. I don't know if you've seen it, but she was kind of giving her warning about how communism went down in her country. And it was just like what's going on now. They'll pit people against each other, whether it's by race, gender, anything else, anything they can. And so my thoughts is right now, we just have to be more vocal. I just don't know how much time we have, because all of these big tech they don't care anymore. They're just fully out in the open that they are, censoring people. And with all the big league, football and baseball and everything. I agree with the other caller that had called about, organizing in some capacity. And we need to hold our government officials accountable for this. That's the way I look at it. And I think that people that have, followers on YouTube, and we all need to kind of get our heads together and start, doing our own anti-communism march, or anti-tyranny march to let people know that we're here and we're not bowing down to this stuff,
Oh, absolutely. And then also when it comes to the ballot box, we got to make sure that we voting for the right people, because a lot of these things that we're talking about are enacted like through the laws, through the books. And,
Sure.
If you vote for people like Ilhan Omar, AOC, and everybody, they're going to enact these laws. They're lawmakers. They're going to put the communism on the books. And a lot of times it might only take a small portion of the people that are in office to do these things, because the squad, as they're called, it's like 4 people. They're pretty much dominating the left on Congress. And Twitter, they pretty much draw from Twitter and make that be their enforcement arm. So they use that to come in. So everywhere matters. Every election matters. Everything from dog catchers up to the president, it all matters. So we got to have all hands on deck when it comes to not only just being out in our communities, but also when it comes to the voting in every single election. It really does matter.
Right. And also anybody that supports BLM being vocal about it and saying, this is a communist group and we don't support that. We don't support, babies getting kneeled on or, any of the stuff that has happened with this BLM, and start holding these companies accountable. And again, with our dollars, like the other gentleman you had on had said. So anyways, if you form anything, I'd love to help out, or anybody's forming anything, I'm here. I'm a patriot, so I'm here too. So.
All righty. Well,
thanks, ABL, for your time.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
All right. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller, and shout out to all you guys for tuning in. We got quite a few calls on deck. I'm going to try to get to everybody I can. If I can't get you on, it's not my fault. Blame the white man. Let's get back to it. 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 423 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Jason, sending you much love from Chattanooga, man. How's it going?
All right, man. Everything is good. Coming from Chattanooga.
Hey, brother, I know we've talked about before, if we outlaw guns, only outlaws are going to have guns. And that basically means that a lawbreaker is a lawbreaker, and if you put a new law in place, they're going to break that one too. So when we look at these so-called protesters, more so insurrectionists, they are getting their fame and they're getting their word out because they're breaking the law, because they're being insurrectionists, they're destroying property, they're killing people. And the conservatives aren't being heard because, wow, guess what, man? We're trying to obey the law and not cause an insurrection. But my question is, how many times can we turn the other cheek? At what point are we going to have to say, hey, federal government, we've got to step up and protect our country. Somebody's got to give us the go-ahead, as the citizens that want to protect things, or step in for us and stop this insurrection. Because, man, my cheeks are getting sore. I'm chomping at the bit.
I hear you, man. I mean, I'm not really sure how we're going to, move forward with that, but something's got to give, though.
If we don't, take some of that weight off the camel, his camel's back is going to break. And we just can't keep stacking straw up there. And one other question for you. I don't know if you've had a chance to address it yet or not, but what about Representative, I think his name is Gomert's, what about Representative Gomert's bill that he had spoken about in the last couple of days? Have you had a chance to check into that one?
I think I saw that about the Democratic Party and their ties to slavery. Was that it?
Yes. I just thought that was a great blast against the Democratic Party, and it was a good laugh that day. So, hey, man, you keep doing what you do. My family loves you. We keep coming to you for words of wisdom and inspiration of hope every day. So God bless you, and you keep at it.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You have a great one. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. You know what? The way Trump is, he's like really open and available to listen to you. He'll hear you out. So we could like as Americans, as just, taxpaying citizens, approach the White House, come up with a petition to say, hey, there's a lot of guys out here that are willing to help. They're willing to be kind of an auxiliary force. Let's make that happen. So you guys won't have so much strain on your back from the federal government. We're not really trying to get paid from the military, like as being part of the military. We don't want to be part of the military. We just want to be a force that is recognized by the U.S. government. Maybe that's possible. I don't really know how that would go or what the steps to that would be, but it's a thought. Or don't even go about it that way. Just do it. But you got to be careful because some of the cities might not know who you are, really. All right, Jordan, what's happening?
Yo, ABL, what up?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's good. Rutgers University a couple of days ago declared grammar racist.
I think I saw that. I saw something like that. What they were trying to say that it's like the normative race, the grammar is like racially biased or something like that.
They said systemic racism allows for people who aren't white not to be able to learn proper English, and so they're challenging the English and to be more inclusive. And this have you noticed this trend? It's like with the Smithsonian, and then at this incident where you're so woke and anti-racist that you end up being racist to the people you're claiming to protect.
Yes, I mean that's what's happening right now. Right, that's happening right now today. They claim to be anti-racist, but once you actually see, they don't hear themselves. They kind of operate in these echo chambers where what they're saying is pretty much just given a green light, rubber stamp, and it's moved on. But then when you leave the echo chamber and you kind of zoom out and hear what they say, it's racist. It's 1,000% racist, and they don't even know anybody that's racist, nor have they experienced racism, so they have nothing to really measure what they say against actual racism.
Yeah, because basically what they're saying here is that people who aren't white aren't able to learn proper English, so forget it. F it.
Exactly. That'd be the same thing racist person would say. Oh, black person, you can't learn English, you can't do right, so just forget it. It's the same exact thing.
Like the whole Smithsonian like people like 4chan and Stormfront are probably going to take that little infograph that Smithsonian said and use it to represent themselves. Because that's what they've done. They don't realize that, or maybe they do realize that they're being racist towards non-white people by that infograph.
Well,
that infograph looks like something that Stormfront or David Duke could have made.
And you know what? They removed it probably because they realized it was racist after they got a bunch of kickback. When they put it out, they thought it was super progressive and woke, all this, that, and the third. But then when they got the kickback, they realized, oh, no, this is racist. We got to take it down. Because they never leave the echo chamber. They think they know what's best. But in reality, they've gone full circle back to what they claim to be against.
Yeah, like I heard about, like, if you know the name D'Angelo, like they still got a bunch of stupid stuff on that website, but
Robin D'Angelo, yes.
Robin D'Angelo, yeah. Him and I think other cohorts of his, they're saying that, there is no racial gap. Instead, we need to, in order to solve racism, we have to destroy every single thing that has a gap in it. And that mindset continues coming up, and that's a problem because it just only confirms that a lot of these people, these pro-black people or these activists, don't really think high of black people or people who aren't white. It's like the bigotry of low expectations. Even black people themselves who are saying this stuff, I think they think
they don't. Like a lot of these people that say these kind of things, the black folks too, they're not really around a lot of black folks in general. They live in mostly white areas, and what they have is guilt, and then that guilt kind of comes out as racism because that's how they know how to deal with it. Really, that's how they feel on the inside anyway. But they have the racism that comes out with sympathy. You see, because they don't really understand what they're actually talking about. Yeah. All they can do is go off what they feel, and what they feel is racism because they're racist.
Yeah, because it's like one quick thing, and I'll go. the political spectrum, people call it a spectrum, but it's really not. It's actually a circle. And the other half of that circle is just converges with the people who are like extreme white supremacists and extreme progressives, and it just converges into a hatred for people, a hidden hatred for people who aren't white.
You're right about that. And the other side of the circle, that's the centrist. They're kind of indistinguishable. Once you get into the center, you're kind of apolitical. Once you get to the extremes in the circle, you're also indistinguishable because you're both extreme. Like exactly. The Black Lives Matter, Antifa, they're the same. Ain't no difference.
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna bail. I'll be in chat and I'll catch you later.
I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Peace. I talked to my man Joy for the call. Yeah, you're trying to point with the whole circle thing. I've been saying that for a while. You know, it's like you're on a circle, right? Your spectrum is a circle as far as politics is concerned. And if you're on like the bottom part of the circle, you're like a centrist, and you're pretty much the same. Center left, center right. Once you're right there in the center, you're the same. But once you get to the top of the circle, you're extreme right, extreme left. It's the same thing. You know, that's your radical extremist. That's all the same at the end of the day. Once you go out to the sides of the circle, that's when you're more different and you have distinguishable characteristics. But most normies are at the bottom of the circle and off a little bit to left or the right. That's pretty much how that works. But thank y'all again for being here. I most certainly appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a like on the video. Hit the thumbs up on the video. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe right now. And click the bell as well. When you click the bell, you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. All right. And the number to call, if you don't know, is right there. 434-658-1220. The number is also always in the description box in case you don't hear me or don't see it in the ticker when it comes across. All righty. Oh, I got a clip for you guys. I got to show you. If you're on my Instagram page, you already seen it, but this pretty much encapsulates what we were just talking about as far as the woke person and the racist person being the same person. Let's check it out right quick. I'm gonna put it on the screen for you.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
I say colored people, but as long as we're classifying them, we both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know. I just think we should
roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again. Jinx, now you owe me a Coke. Hey, tell them what you told me yesterday.
White actors should only do voices for white cartoon characters.
I've been saying that for years. Stick to your own.
Us white people, we have so much privilege.
I agree. It is a privilege to be white. Ask him about interracial dating.
All I said is that black men who date white women have internalized racism, and white men that date ethnic women are fetishizing them.
Guys against interracial dating now. Like, am I being pranked? Did Boomer put you up to this?
That's right on point. That is right on point. That's how I've been feeling for years now. Years. I've been feeling the exact same way for a big part of my life. And that's 1,000% correct. Let me get to the next call. All right, call you on the line. What's speaking to 469?
Yeah, this is Jerry from Dallas.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not much. I just have one quick question to ask you. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on why there's really nothing in the news on Dr. Charles Lieber, that Harvard professor who was kind of in cahoots with China. He was arrested back in January by accepting money for them. He was going to set up some department of virology or something in Wuhan. Have you heard about that?
I've heard something about it, but I don't know a lot about it.
Oh, well, I guess I was just, maybe you do a video on that or something. But I read an article on DepartmentOfJustice.gov website about him and 2 Chinese spies being caught. So I just haven't heard anything in the news, and was wondering if you had thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I've heard a little bit about it, but I don't know a lot. So I got to check it out and see what's going on and get, freshen up on the whole situation.
Yeah. Well, cool. I appreciate what you're doing, man. Thanks.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, shout out to the caller. I did hear about that, but I don't know a lot about it. I gotta tighten up on my news here. All right. Let me see. The next call is caller on the line. We're speaking to 319.
Hey, ABL. This is Jacob. How's it going?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's good. So I do have a few questions that aren't too political, but then I'll get into one that's kind of about the virus. So first one, I see you always drinking tea. What kind of tea do you drink?
That's chai tea with cream.
Chai tea?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, culture, I was going to say, I'm personally an unsweetened tea guy. I used to be a sweetened tea, but something about that unsweetened tea. I know people in the comment section might go off on me. People always go off on me about that. Oh, you drink that? But I think it tastes all right. But nice to see another fellow tea drinker in America.
No doubt. Absolutely.
But the other one was, I know you do some gaming. Do you do it on a PC or consoles?
Oh, I got both. I got everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got everything really. Like, when I got company come over, got my got some people to come, like especially like the kids and everything. Not my kids, but other people's kids. Like my girls, her niece and nephew or whatever. They come over. We got VR. We got the Switch. I got my PC. I could game on that if I want to. So I got everything. But it's like I only had no time really to play it all. So it's just there if I want to use it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, I'm loving you more and more, ABL. A tea drinker, gamer, all the above.
Yes, indeed.
But last one I'll get to was, so I live in Iowa. I don't think the COVID has been too bad here. I mean, it's Iowa. It's not the most populated state by any means. And my movie theater, I work at a movie theater, and we've been closed for like 4 months now. And I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I never thought I'd say it, but I'm really ready to get back to work and get paid because, I don't know. I'm just ready to get back into it. So what are your thoughts? Do you think like we should start opening things back up slowly, or what do you think?
I say do it right now because I feel like at a certain point we're all going to be exposed to the virus. The virus ain't going nowhere. I mean, even if there's a vaccine, first of all, when's vaccine going to come? Second of all, is it going to be effective? Is it really going to work? I mean, there's a vaccine for the flu, but people still die from it every year. So it's like, what are we even doing? We're kind of like wasting time. And I feel like if we get more exposed to it, it'll be less deadly. Matter of fact, I know I'm right because we're seeing more and more cases, but less and less deaths. So how deadly is the virus really? And it's mutating to become less deadly because viruses are smart. They want to mutate to survive because if the host dies off, the virus can't survive. So it's becoming less deadly. We're having less deaths. We need to get back to normal, really. This whole thing has just gone on way too long and for no real reason, in my humble opinion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man, I couldn't agree more, honestly. But, yeah, that was really one last thing. I know you said you don't like popcorn too much in one of your live streams the other day. And, hey, I work at a movie theater. Someday, probably I won't, but I'll whip you up some real good-looking popcorn. Right?
No doubt.
But, all right, have a nice night, ABL. Take care, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep, bye.
Shout out to the caller. You know what I do in the theater? When I eat in the theater, I like going to the Cinema Cafe. Okay? If you don't know what that is, Cinema Cafe, you can go in there and order, like, actual food. When I was in Virginia, they had them. I would go in there by myself and watch movies because it was just like, it's just like watching TV or something with your lunch. Chicken tenders or steak or hamburger, whatever you want in the actual theater with like a whole big, like a table you could sit at and watch a movie at the same time. Like a big long table with comfortable chairs. It was nice. So yeah, bring the movies back and bring the cinema cafes back. That's the best thing on planet Earth, the cinema cafe. Oh man, it ain't nothing like it. I would go to a place I would travel just for the cinema cafe. That's the wave right there. Okay, let's get to the next call. 443 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. It's Luke from Southern California. How's it going?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Hey, I wanted to give you a call and see if you heard anything on the couple in Kentucky that got put under house arrest for not signing the paper.
Yeah, I did see that. That was crazy because I think the lady, the girl caught the virus, and when she caught it, they told her to sign some papers. She was like, no, I don't want to sign it because it's kind of some fishy language. And then since she didn't sign it, she got a visit the next day from the police department, if I'm not mistaken. And then they told her to, oh, you got to stay on house arrest and put her on an ankle monitor. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah. Her and her husband both got put on ankle monitor and couldn't go 200 feet from outside the property.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I guess the health department reported and said that, at least that's what the article says, is they reported and said to the judge that she refused to self-quarantine. And so that's why they put her on house arrest, I guess.
Well, that's what they
that's
say.
What we're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, because you got a couple of things that are wrong there. Number one, she's saying that's not even the case. She was saying that she didn't want to, sign the paperwork. That's all. And number two, since when do you get put on house arrest for not signing paperwork that you don't want to sign? Like, is there a law that says you got to sign it? And if you don't, and then, okay, I thought to get put on house arrest, you had to actually get convicted. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just, shooting in the dark here. But you got to get convicted. Like, to lock me up, you can't just say, oh, well, you got to have something that I actually did. Some kind of crime that I'm maybe guilty or innocent. You can't just lock me up. So I'm not sure what the actual protocol is to fight against it. But first thing, I'm suing everybody involved, and I'm getting paid. I'm getting a top flight lawyer. I'm getting the best lawyer in the country or in the world to come fight my cases. I'm going to get paid. I'm going on Fox News, MA13 DNC, CNN. I'm going everywhere to get their money for sure.
Definitely. I agree. I posted something about it on Facebook, and somebody was like, oh, calm down. They're not coming for your rights. I was like, are you kidding me? I served my country. Like, I fought for these people, to not have to get locked up for something stupid like this. Like, we have a choice. And I just thought it was stupid,
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. But see, that's what you were saying. Like, coming for your rights is it's right there. It's right in front of you. Okay, you don't want to sign papers. Not even she didn't want to self-quarantine. It wasn't even that. She didn't want to sign specific papers. That was it. And for that, you get put on house arrest. So, I mean, your rights are being taken through this virus.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd. And more in California here, especially with Newsom. And, we can't even sing in my church, It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. But you can have protests when everybody's elbow to elbow, 5,000 people deep, and that's not really a big problem.
Yeah, everybody is dancing in the street, grinding on each other and stuff. But, passing the virus around, you think that's the way. But
right.
Guess not.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, ABL, and have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All right, calling on the line. I'm going to speak to 607.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
All right. Apologize. I have a headset on 100%. Make sure I can hear me well. Nevertheless, this is Chuck calling from Jayville, North Carolina.
All righty.
One, I'm really glad I got through to you. You're a hard man to get a hold of.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
All right. First thing first, I apologize for my narcissism on this one. I was actually listening in on your last Thursday when you were Brandon Tatum, and I apologize, I cannot remember that. Miss Betty?
Beverly and Betty, yes.
Yes, thank you. I apologize. I apologize. I failed to remember her name.
Oh, it's all good.
Nevertheless, and I remember one of the things you were talking to her about was I actually called you up about I think a week or two ago. Hey, I might offend you, this, that, and the other about the hip hop, this, that, and the other. And I know she actually brought that up in that conversation when you have Brandon Tatum and Miss Betty as well.
Yeah, and you know what? When I was thinking about it before Brandon Tatum said it, because Brandon was on the podcast with Charlie Kirk, and I saw that video before that video you saw with me and Beverly and Brandon and Derek. And my viewpoint before I saw him was always that, well, if the rap music is so bad, then why is it not affecting the white kids in the suburbs? Because they're the chief consumers of it, but it's not doing to them what it's doing to us. But then when I heard Brandon talk about it, he broke it down in a way to where it kind of clicked in my mind that the music does have an impact. Now, I'm not going to say the music is the only reason, but it's definitely not helping. And what he said made a lot of sense. So, and especially when he brought up the fact that if you don't have any point of reference to a black person, like a lot of people, I never met a black person before. They live in a mostly Hispanic or Asian or white, mostly white area. They don't meet anybody black. So when they see us on TV, who are they going to see? They're going to see the rappers, basketball players, and they're going to feel like that's us because they have no other point of reference. So it can affect them that way by having a negative viewpoint of us. And then it can affect us because if we're in a low-income area, a ghetto, whatever you want to call it, the music can inspire us to do things that are just right outside our door. You know, it's easy. It's right there. If you're broke, you don't have no money, you can go right outside. The dope boy is right in front of you. So that can have that effect. Now, for me and guys like me that I knew, it didn't really do anything. It was just music. But not everybody is so headstrong. And some guys are susceptible to that kind of stuff, especially with guys with no dad in their house. They're pretty much just out here doing whatever. It's easy for the music to kind of influence them. TV, entertainment as well, the same thing.
And to be honest with you, when I actually originally called you upon that, I also want to talk more to that point, but so the fact I didn't want to debate you because I know for a fact that I would actually lose. But the main reason why I was actually bringing up that point is years ago when I was actually stationed in Germany, when I met my girlfriend, now my wife, she comes from a Turkish family, Turks living in Germany. And I explicitly remember, like, one of my brother-in-laws, he literally started talking to me initially in, like, semi-Ebonics. Hey, man, what's up? This, that, and the other. And I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? Initially. And I kind of, from talking to him, I'm like, why are you talking to me like this? And he's like, well, this is what we see on TV in America.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
how you talk. And as I said, this is almost a decade ago, but it's still, in my personal opinion, prevalent today. I mean, right now, I can literally drive down the road here in Jayville, and if I hear, thumping coming out of a car next to me at a stoplight, I don't want to say this, I could probably surmise or guess the ethnicity of the person in the car next to me.
Right.
I can do that. And I know it's racist to say, but I apologize for that.
No, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah. Nevertheless, the second thing I wish to speak to you about, and
well, I got small amount of time, so you got to make that kind of quick.
All right. My question to you is this: when it came out, I haven't heard a segment of you pertaining to this, and this is old school news. The Twitter hack.
Yeah, I mean, what happened with that was they said that some employees got compromised, and the employees have tools to be able to access, everybody's account. So from that, they were able to do that. And I think what happened was the employees got hacked, and then the people that hacked the employees hacked big accounts, like Bill Gates or whatever, big people, and then they were doing some kind of Bitcoin scam, telling everybody, hey, give me X amount of Bitcoins, I'll give you X amount of Bitcoin back. But nobody got any Bitcoin. Everybody was just sending their Bitcoin to these accounts thinking they would get some money back, but they didn't. So that was probably just some internal stuff. Who knows what happened? I don't know how it happened, but it did.
Nevertheless, ABL, from my perspective, this is right here, and that is a very big deal to me. That is a extreme big deal to me.
Yeah, I think what it says is that we need to, take our internet footprint, our data very seriously and protect it. And some things we probably just shouldn't have out there on the internet so if you don't want it to be found. But hey, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you very much for ABL for taking my call. Have a good evening.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the call. I most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to the next call here. 719, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Stephanie, Colorado.
All righty, what's going on?
Same old, I guess. I was a long time ago. I watched a movie called Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Stallone, and they were real young in it, so that tells you how old I am. But if people should go and watch that movie, because that sums up exactly what is happening in our country now. Stallone got put in prison, and they iced the prisoners, and then they woke him up when it was time to let him loose. Well, he woke up 40 years later, and we were told what we were allowed to eat, what we were allowed to drink, what we were allowed to smoke, what kind of sex you could have. And it is totally, this guy wakes up into total socialism. He can't eat meat, but meat's out, salt's out. Anything that you want to do is done. You have one guy making all the rules for you. So people should go and take a look at it, because it's just amazing that so far, so many years in the past, gave you the exact scenario on what's happening now. I mean, you've got states telling us you can't eat chicken wings and cheese sticks, and they're telling bars that they can't. I mean, let's face it, a lot of these bars don't even have restaurants in them, so it's done for them. But it's a great movie, and people should watch it, because everything that's happening now happened then. And I think it gives a little insight into what people can expect if the Democrats ever get back control again.
You're right on point about that. I think they saw this happening back then. It was the beginning stages of it, and they know how the so-called progressives are. They're going to always keep on going, keep putting more and more and more until we get to where we are right now. And it's really unfortunate, but they were able to see it. Yeah, and they were. And it's so funny because, well, it's not funny, socialism, but I mean, it's just funny that I rewatched that movie the other day, and I was thinking to myself, you got to be kidding me. I mean, Taco Bell, they have one restaurant, Taco Bell won out in all the franchise wars. No meat, no salt, no smoking. You had people living underground in tunnels that didn't want to live the way they did up top, which was basically somebody telling you when you could even breathe. So your callers ought to take a second and go and watch that movie. Not only is it outstanding, but it tells exactly what is going to happen to this country if we don't stop what's going on right now. Absolutely, 100% correct. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great night. All right, same to you. Bye-bye. And she's right about that. And somebody in the chat also says Idiocracy. That's correct. I watch Idiocracy all the time. Idiocracy is right on point. That's a Matt Judge, if I'm not mistaken, movie. He's the guy that made King of the Hill. You got to watch it. Really, really good. Terry Crews is in it, actually. He played the president. It was really good. Maya Rudolph was in it. I forget the main character. I forget his name. Was it Matt Judge? Who was the main character in Idiocracy? Hold on. Let me look it up. Let's see. What was it? Oh, Luke Wilson. That was his name. Luke Wilson. Yep. He was in it. Really, really good movie. And it was right on point. Everything that they were talking about is the kind of things we're dealing with right now. Basically, if you've not seen Idiocracy, which came out in 2006, the main thing was it was a guy that woke up many years later, same as Demolition Man, and he was in the future to where everybody was just dumb. And they didn't know how to do basic things like grow crops. They're sprinkling Brawndo, which is like Gatorade. Electrolytes is what plants crave. That's why they kept saying everybody was corporatized. It was crazy. You got to watch it. Really good. All right, let's get to the next call. 803, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's praying for the rapture.
All righty, what's going on?
I can't believe I got through. Are you talking to Ivan?
I've not heard from him tonight. He might be, I don't know where he's at right now. He's probably in jail somewhere trying to get out.
I thought he was clogging up the lines. No, I can't believe I got through. How are you?
Everything's great. Can't complain. Everything's fantastic.
I hate it because I can't watch the show. I had to call you like 80 times.
Well, I'm glad you're able to get in.
No, but I guess I just want to kind of talk about what that caller earlier was talking about the college and saying grammar was racist, I guess. Or I don't know if they're just saying that to dumb down English or just to make the class easier. I'm not sure exactly what their motive is, but I guess I've been kind of feeling this way for a couple years now because I'm in South Carolina and our school systems, a 60 is passing. And
Wait. Let's pause for a minute. You said a 60 is passing? Are you serious?
60 is passing.
Wow.
I'm like, so you're lowering the standards for my children. You're saying barely making over half is okay.
That's crazy.
They basically, they make it impossible for a kid to fail. It's ridiculous. I worked for the school system, and I found out some stuff I'm glad I know, I guess, but I was pissed off because I'm not taking it as, oh, yeah, my kid's going to pass every single year. Like, you're making, I say, our kid's stupid, and you're okay with it. But basically, the first semester is half the school year, and the first quarter is 9 weeks. So basically, a kid could sit in class for 9 weeks and do absolutely nothing, and the teacher has to give them a 50.
Wow. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and a kid can be trying their butts off and make a 60 or 70, but this kid over here did absolutely nothing for 9 weeks and got a 50. It's just really, I don't know. It's scary to think that that's what it's come down to. I don't know what your school system's grades are like, but yeah, 60 over here is passing.
That's crazy. But you know what? I'm not surprised because a lot of kids are graduating high school without the ability to read. They're totally illiterate. And, people ask, well, how can you graduate high school without knowing how to read? Yeah. Well, when you just push through and you're just giving all kind of, passes, all kind of freebies, and you don't do anything, you don't learn anything, you're not being taught, you're not being educated. So you're just going to be 18 years old with no skills at all. And then what are you going to do from there? Be in the penitentiary somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not being taught how to work for something. They're not. It's just ridiculous. Even the award system, like the whole, when you participate, you get a participation award. That's ridiculous. You didn't earn anything.
Right, exactly.
They used to have A honor roll, AB honor roll, and B honor roll. Now they have A, B, and 1C honor roll.
How was that honor roll? It doesn't make any sense.
It's really silly. And a C is a 70. So again, these kids don't want to compete anymore. When I was in school, I wanted to be the best. You want to make the best, the highest grade on the test. Now it's like a kid doesn't care if they're making a 50 because they're like, oh, I'll make it by the end of the quarter. I'll bump it up to a 60, and they're happy with that. It's ridiculous. But it just got me thinking. Now that these colleges are kind of taking their bars down, because I was like, they can get through high school with a 60, but the college's grades are still going to be the same. You're still going to have to, get higher grades in order to pass, but they're not going to be used to deadlines or trying or anything. So it's really sad.
That's right. Exactly. That's why a lot of kids, when they get to college or even like when they're trying to go, they're totally unprepared. It's easy for them to go ahead and flunk out or perform poorly because they're actually kind of functionally illiterate and they don't even know it because they've been told that what they've been doing is okay so far.
Yeah, and a lot of parents, I think, were okay with it because they're like, as long as my kid's passing.
Right.
I'm like, but a 60 is passing. That's nothing to be happy about. In my house, I'm not happy with a 70. I'm not. I'll accept it, but I'm not happy with a 70. But you bring me home a 60, that's failing. You basically made an F.
Yeah, if I had a bad grade on my report card, because I used to always get A's and B's. If I brought home a bad grade, I got put on punishment. Like it was an offense. Like I had an F one time in my second grade class. I'll never forget it because I did not do the project I was supposed to do. I just said, man, I ain't doing that. I don't know why I did that, but I'm a little boy. I just did a dumb thing, and for that, I got a month of punishment. No outside, no video games, no nothing. A month. But nowadays, you can.
You did that.
Right. I was right back on track, getting A's and B's again. But now you can get a 60 and pass, and it's not really a big deal. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the parents are like, oh, okay, you passed. But the parents don't want to hold their kids to their own standards in their own home. They're like, oh, it's okay with the school system. It's okay with me. That should not be how it is.
Right. Exactly. Well, I thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
It was good talking to you.
All right. Likewise. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. A great call. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for CNN and all the other media to blame the COVID spread on these protests.
They're not going to do it. I mean, if you're going to blame anything, that'd be the obvious place to go. I mean, you got 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 people in one place. Half of them wearing masks, half of them not. They're not doing any kind of distancing. You should focus your energy right there, but they're not going to do that because this is a righteous thing. It's a good thing. It's the woke thing to do.
Yeah, so what's so funny is that they do blame other big gatherings, like the parties that the high school and the college kids throw, or the amount of people the bars let in. But the protests, oh no, they're not going to blame that at all.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, and about Fauci not wearing his mask, the reason said that he was eating, but where was the food around him?
Exactly. Where was the food? I didn't see no water, no food, no nothing. It's like, sir, you're talking about, oh, I had to get a drink of water and some food. Sir, you had no concessions. Ain't no concessions in the stand, sir. You ain't supposed to be there. There was nobody in the crowd with you. Where'd you get the food and the water? He was just lying, made that up. And then he had it in different parts of his face. You saw he had it like right up under his nose, but covered his lips. And then he had it under his nose and lips under his chin. It's like, sir, what are you even doing? And your wife had it in her hand. It's like, man, y'all need to stop. Stop playing.
Yeah, exactly. And I talked to my wife about this and about why people have issues with the mask. And for me personally, I don't have an issue. You know, I guess it's just me being cautious because I do have a family. I am around people, but I totally understand why people have a problem with it, because it's the leadership that's saying one thing or just changing what they're saying. Like, for instance, how the American Association of Pediatrics, or whatever that national pediatric organization is called, they said one thing to encourage students to go back to school, but then all of a sudden they softened their stance because they were getting heat for it. And then you also have somebody like Fauci that's not practicing what he's preaching, and that's like coming from the top level. I mean, it's not enough to make yourself as a leader and telling people what to do, but you also have to show your actions. So make sure that people could be encouraged of what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Because if I see you doing that, if you're the main guy out on the front line talking about wearing the mask and all the safety protocols of the virus, and I see you with your nose out, I got my nose out too. And if you look at me crazy in Walmart, I'll be like, don't do that. He fought you right there with his nose out. So if he got his nose out, I got my nose out too. Don't ask me nothing. That's pretty much how it's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the baseball and how they were kneeling, there was one baseball player that they caught that did not kneel. Did you hear about that?
I saw that. You're talking about the Giants pitcher,
Right.
Coonrod.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I mean, basically everything he said, I can see how people have a problem with it, because all he said, and it was nothing racist about it. Of course, they're going to call him racist, but all he said is that based off my Christian belief, I cannot kneel for this organization because of what they said. They're about Marxists. They believe in LGBT, and I cannot kneel for this. And based off their website, that is true. And on top of that, MLB is sending money to the organization. It's kind of funny how people, and there are a lot of black people that say that, well, Black Lives Matter, the saying Black Lives Matter is separate from the organization. I get that, but yet though, when you constantly see these protests, they're always marching with associating the words Black Black Lives Matter with the organization. Not only you're saying Black Lives Matter, but you're using their logo. The painting on the Black Lives Matter mural on the streets, that is their logo. So yes, you are every time you say Black Lives Matter, you are supporting an organization that, when they talked about Black lives, is a reason why they specifically talked about the Black LGBT group and only had 2 paragraphs about Black women and didn't say nothing about Black men, Black children, and fathers' homes. And on top of that, they said on their website, they say that they want to destroy the nuclear family, but they try to soften it and say that no, they want to destroy the white nuclear family. When the nuclear family is no color, because throughout each nation, nuclear family helps make the nation better. Even when they talk about the extended family, the nuclear family is still the primary family that people need. And for them to not talk about the fatherless homes and want to destroy the nuclear family shows right there that they want to destroy the Black community.
That's right, man. Right on point. I thank you for your call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, then. Talk to you later.
All right, peace. All right. Shout out for the call. Most certainly appreciate them. And thank y'all for being here. We got time for a few more calls. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is right there on the ticker, right in front of you. And it's also always in the description box at the very top. Just click on the show more button right there. Everything just opens right up right in front of you. Let me go ahead and get to the next call. It's 719 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Adam Gonzalez.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain. Go ahead.
Good to hear. But I just had a question. I don't mean to make it sound bad, but when are, Black people going to realize that they're just being used for a political movement more than helping the community? You think it will come to a point where they'll wake up and say, well, wow, we've been used this whole time?
Well, I don't know about everybody, but I know a lot of us are waking up every day. Now, like I said, I don't know about everybody. I can't really predict when we're going to all wake up, but a lot of us are. And I feel like what I'm doing and what everybody else is doing, that are making YouTube videos, that are out there running for office, winning, just in general, talking to people, talking to their friends and their family is helping. Now, it's going to be a slow process, but it can go back to at least it was like in 1960. You're talking about more voter parity. I think it might have been 60-40 for the Democratic versus Republicans versus 90-10 the way it is now. If we can go back to that, then I think we're doing a good thing. Even if we go back to like 70-30, that's better than the way it is now, where it's like overwhelming support and nothing is ever done to gain the Black vote. So, and with this whole Black Lives Matter thing, the more we see a lot of Black folks getting shot and killed by the so-called Black Lives Matter protesters, we're going to understand, wait a minute, if this movement is for us, then why is it us that's being hurt by the movement? It doesn't make any sense. So I think these kind of things that are happening will inspire some change.
Yeah, I agree. But, what will it take? I mean, there, even like 4 years ago when Trump was first elected, there was a lot of pro-Trumpers that were out there and doing, rallies and all that. Where are the people now? Do you think it will come to a point where we'll have to get into the streets and, protest against these people that are trying to take over the country? I mean, where is everybody?
Well, people are at home because of the virus. I mean,
I know, but
yeah,
you think they'd be more proactive about what they believe, and the nation is crumbling in front of us, and everyone's just at home. I mean, you think people would be more readily available to go and protest against it?
Well, I mean, what are you really going to do? Like, there's only so much you could do. A lot of these people that are out there with this whole BLM thing, they're pretty much just trying to fight the government. They're fighting them. They're engaging in some type of some type of warfare with the government. And us, I mean, we don't really need we could be involved with that, but the question is why. I mean, I don't really know. I think that we understand what the best way to go about this is, which is to go out there and vote the right way. Now, as far as our way of life being challenged wherever we live, that's a different story. But in these places like Portland, Oregon, that's kind of like just some of these far left groups fighting the government out there. And really, the local government are kind of allowing it. So that's the thing that they got to deal with.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's all I wanted to ask. It was good to hear from you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All right, shout out to the caller, and thank you all for being here. Let's get to the next call. 615, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Kenneth Reed.
All right, man, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, I was just watching ABL's live stream, and I was just wanting to, I was just kind of curious, because I'm totally, conservative, Republican, whatever, but I was just going to ask him if he thinks if there's any Democrat that could ever come about that can actually not be a puppet. You know what I mean? It's just kind of curious, because like I've just really started to pick it up in this last year, and man, I'm hooked. Him, Tatum, all these people. I'm over here, and I can't get enough of you guys. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, like I said, it might not be a good question, but I'm just curious because man, this world needs to change. You know what I mean? And this man speaks truth. You know what I mean? So.
Well, thank you for that, man. That's a very good compliment. I'm right here on the phone with you. I've been here the whole time, so I thank you for that, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So,
no
yeah.
problem, because I mean, I watch you guys. I watch Mr. Tatum, Candace Owens, and it just, like I see all the future's bright, for everybody, and it just kills me because I'm thinking, will there ever be another Democrat that isn't being led around like a puppet, like Biden? His wife's having to pull him off stage. He doesn't know where he's at. And then they're over here giving Trump a hard time because he misspelled something on his Twitter. And I just don't, I just don't think that that's really too fair. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I think what's going on with the Democratic Party is that those that are in power only want puppets. You can't actually run if you're not a puppet. So the answer to the question would be you'll get a non-puppet over there once you get rid of the leadership in the Democratic Party itself. Now, is that going to happen anytime soon? I don't really know. But if you can get people in there that not just going to want you to be part of the deep state and do whatever they, execute these deep plans they've been having for years and years and years, if that kind of goes away, then you'll have real people there. But until that happens, you're going to have the puppets.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Because, I mean, like I said, everybody was talking about, Michelle Obama. No. It needs to be. I mean, Candace Owens. I mean, a black lady. I love hearing her talk. You know what I mean? And she's not afraid. She's a very pretty lady, and man, she can get up there and just she'll give it to you how it is. And I really think I think she can do a lot for this world. And I think she'll have her chance after Trump. But I'm thinking if the Democrats squeak their way in, is it Biden or is it somebody else that's more competent? You know what I mean? So I didn't mean to take up your time, but I'll listen to you, and hope you have a good night, brother.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. God bless.
I know.
Thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All right, caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Adam from Fort Worth, Texas, man. How you doing tonight?
Everything's good, man. Did you put some kind of like speaker or something? Or can you talk a little bit for me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, you good? You good to go? All right.
Okay, sorry, I think my mic was a little off there, but anyway, I was wondering if you caught the NFAC protest in Louisville today.
Now, I didn't see it, but I heard about it. I heard there was an accidental discharge of a weapon and somebody got shot from the NFAC. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, some of that went on. I think one guy discharged his shotgun and injured about 3 of his fellow comrades. And yeah, that was a very unfortunate.
Wait a minute. How do you just accidentally discharge a shotgun? I mean, come on. Like, what are you doing? I can understand. Maybe if you got like a little small pistol or something like that, but a shotgun? I mean, come on. That's like driving your car accidentally through a front glass of a storefront. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, man, LARPing is dangerous these days. It can be dangerous.
It is.
Did you hear what Grandmaster Jay was saying up there? I think they went up to the Capitol building and he was giving a speech.
No, I didn't hear that.
Well, I'll give you a short version. He was basically talking about how he wanted to get the how they're taking too long to reveal all the case evidence for Breonna Taylor for her killing by the police, and the mayor basically called him that day, I think, and told him that he would have it ready in about 4 months, and that wasn't good enough for him, and so he gave them 4 weeks, or he was going to burn down the very same building that they were up there with. He was going to march all his NFAC guys up there, and he also said for the whites to not show up this time, that should only be black people, and he was calling out the 3%ers and the so-called white militias, even though they're mostly, interracial militias. They have all kinds of people from everywhere, but it was kind of scary, man, to watch. It looked like some ISIS sort of terrorist stuff, man, but I was just wondering if you saw it.
No, I didn't see that, but I did hear something about like some kind of threat that was made. Now, he made that threat live on camera, so what's going to happen is he's going to get a little visit from the FBI. They're going to shut that down ASAP. Matter of fact, since they got any kind of just random morons in there, obviously they're not really screening anybody. I mean, if you let a shotgun off by accident, then you just pretty much letting anybody in there. What's going to happen is you're going to get infiltrated by the FBI or some other kind of organizations kind of within the government, and they're going to get shut down that way, in my humble opinion. Or they'll get shut down in the more through the front door, kicking the boot on the door type way, to where they're not able to carry out any kind of terroristic activity that they threatened.
Yeah, I really hope you're right, because I would really hate to see, them go to a place where actual real militia members do show up, and then one of them gets rowdy and points a gun at the wrong person, or accidentally discharges again or something like that. And next thing you know, you just got a massacre on your hands. I mean, that would not be a good look for anybody involved. And so, but yeah, man, when you get a chance, look at the video. I watched the live stream of it earlier, and it was some very scary rhetoric he was talking about. And I really hope you're right about the FBI going in there. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that and get your opinion on it. And he was making threats, talking about if y'all want to come against us, we're going to shoot you and you will die, and all these kinds of things. So I think the FBI probably took note about that, hopefully, and nothing too bad will happen. But it was scary. I've never seen anything like it, man. Not even old school Black Panther footage was that intense.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I think that might not really work out too well for the federal government, man. But hey, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, that's not going to really work, sir. Making threats against the government, like on TV, on camera, talking about we're going to burn you down. No, sir, you're going to get sent to Gitmo, making big rocks into little rocks. Keep it all the way real. Let's get to the next call. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi. This is Sonia from New York.
All righty. What's going on?
I just wanted to talk about Biden because every time I see him on the TV and I see that nobody's even watching when he does his lives, and he doesn't make much sense. And I even feel sorry for him a little bit because I can't see him doing a debate or anything like that. And I wonder, like, you ever hear the jokes when they say he's just like, what's that movie with Bernie? The guy
Weekend at Bernie's.
That they're trying to pass. I'm thinking, are they, if he's just a stand-in because they have some other, and you've had other callers say this, that they're probably going to try to flip the script at the last minute. I find that so possible because he's just too pathetic of a candidate, and I just can't see anybody, like they don't care who they get in there because then they can just control them, and then before you know it, the VP takes over, and that's that. Or he's so pathetic, they know he doesn't stand a chance, they're not going to win. And so this whole thing that they're doing between COVID and Black Lives Matter is just to maybe leave a big mess for Trump to clean up, just to make his life miserable. I just don't see what's the end goal with him, They had so much time, they hated him so much, and that's who they pick at the end. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Biden, you have a guy that can be controlled and also has some name recognition. So they think they have the best chance of being able to get in the door with Biden. They don't care that he's halfway dead. They don't care about that. They just want to be able to get in the door because once they get in the door, then they can do whatever they want to do. And they try to, hitch up to Andrew Yang. He might be kind of, not really on board with whatever the deep state wants to do, trying to do whatever he wants and making these big promises. You have Joe Biden in there. He'll do as he's told. And that's pretty much how they want to go about it.
Well, I know that you're running out of time, so I'll just keep it quick. I saw a TikTok video of some lady going ballistic because some woman was at the lake without a mask. But she approaches the woman, and she even had a tape measure. So I don't know if she's checking to see if everybody's 6 feet apart.
Yes, I saw that. That was hilarious.
You saw it? Okay.
Oh, she was screeching, and the tape measure was all crumpled up and
without
breaking.
A mask.
No mask or nothing. It's like, lady, do you see yourself? Just zoom out a little bit.
About no mask, with no mask.
Exactly.
But
that was nuts.
Yeah, and then the kicker is that I noticed that every video that I see when the women behave this way, which I guess this is how liberal leftist women behave, do they have screeching in their DNA?
I think so. It's always the same
it's like
pitch of
textbook
screech.
With them.
Yeah, it's always the same pitch screech. It's like, come on, you're piercing my ears here.
All right, well, that's all I got for now. I didn't even think I was going to get through. Can my son just say goodbye to you?
Hey, yeah, go for it.
He's 8. Hurry up, quick.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
He's busy. Just say hi, ABL, and
Hi. Hi, ABL.
All righty, sir. Yeah, you have a good night now.
All right, you too. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
All right. All right. Shout out to the callers. You guys are fantastic. All right. I got time for one last call. Then I wrap it on up, put a bow on the top. And thank y'all for being here. If you've not done so yet, like the video, please. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, share the video. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe right now. All right, call you on the line. Who's speaking to 475?
Oh my gosh, what?
Hey, you're on the line.
Oh my gosh, hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
I have 3 things.
All right, go for it.
So one, do you have a daughter?
No, I don't.
Oh, dang, because I could have sworn this girl was your daughter, and I could not find any information on her, and so that's cleared. I can stop thinking about that. Second of all, the video that you did, I don't know if you showed it, but you put it on your Instagram, and it was the video of them singing the song, like, Hands Up, Don't Shoot, you know that song?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so I was wondering, like, who do you think, like, which rapper or pop star is going to pick it up first and sell it back?
That's a very good question. I'm thinking maybe like a Beyonce. They might try to do something like that. She might try to do something like that, or some other, like, it'd be like a really big person like Beyonce, or it'd be some kind of like random unknown person that's trying to get popular by using this whole BLM thing as a springboard. So yeah, that'd be funny to see, but really crazy to see at the same time.
Yeah, and my money's on the baby or Alicia Keys.
Probably so. Yeah, matter of fact, I think Alicia Keys might do it. She might go out and sing the whole thing and everything.
Right. And then the third thing is I work for Dr. Cordy Williams, and we're going on a freedom tour, and I was hoping maybe you could look at our Instagram page later.
Okay, yeah. Matter of fact, if you guys could DM me on my Instagram so I can, when I go check it, I can see what the page is and everything. I'll check it out.
Okay, for sure. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the callers. All right, that's all I got for time for tonight. If you couldn't get on, it's not my fault, blame the white man. I got super chats on deck, so I'm going to be here for a little while reading those. And again, thank you all for joining. Super chats, thank y'all. You guys have been fantastic tonight. And thank you to all the Patreoners, the PayPalers, and everybody else. I think what I'm going to do, you're hearing it here first, and I don't know if I'm going to do it 100% yet. I think what I'm going to do is a once a month members only chat. I'm not single. Don't say that right for 10,000. I'm not single. I'm actually engaged to be married. So don't do that. But anyway, I may do a members only chat where you guys are the members of the channel and also on Patreon can come in and ask me whatever you want once a month. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but that's what I'm thinking about. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And if you want to join the channel at whatever level you want, there should be a little button that says join somewhere right where you are on the screen. I'm not really sure where it is, but that'd be what I think I'm gonna do pretty soon here. So thank y'all for joining. Super chats on that. Let me read those right quick, and then I wrap it on up, put a bow on it. Thank you to, let's take the headphones off. All right, and just put that desktop audio on mute. Thank you to, let me see, Zachary Tetchin, who says, I left the Democrats, too conservative. I left the Democrats, and then I became conservative, GOP, light. Oh, okay. He's saying, I left the Democrats, they're too GOP light. Okay, I got you. Basically, they are not even really what they say. They're trying to be like us, but they're not even, they're kind of just like a weak version of us. I got it. All right. Thank you to, let me see, Jaja, who says, nobody talks about when the shutdown is doing to nursing home residents, especially those with Alzheimer's. They're deteriorating. Lifespans are being shortened. Quality of life ruined. No way to go. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. You know, I've had family that's been in hospice care, that's been on ventilators and not even really living. And with no visitors or nothing like that, it's just, it's not life, you know? And my granny, when she was living, she was in a nursing home at one point because she had like, you know, a medical issue that needed to get taken care of at the actual nursing home. And if we didn't come visit her, and being in a nursing home, like a nursing home that granny was in was like a hospital, not the kind of place you wanted to be. It's almost like the penitentiary. It's not like assisted living. It's way different. You don't want to be in a nursing home by yourself with no family coming to see you. That's like being locked up with nobody coming to see you. Shout out to Red Pill Bombs, who says Epstein didn't kill himself. There you go. All day long. And thank y'all for saying congratulations. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to Dirk Diggler guy, who says, you think they moving to Austin to get more Democrat votes for Biden to win Texas? That's a good question. I think they're going to Austin because they think it's just like a cool place to be. They think it's like California light. That's kind of what's going on. All right. Shout out to Gigi Ellie Sucks, who says John F. MacArthur, pastor of Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California, is going to the protest, the government overreach. If that interests you, okay. Shout out to OG Muffin for the donation. Shout out to Daniel Nordine, who says, thanks, ABL. Enough said. Thank you for that. Thank you to Derek Osgood, who says, somebody read my mind about ABL gaming. I was just watching some of your reviews last night and was just thinking you need to do more reviews. I think I read that one earlier. I will do that. Shout out to Emerald Green Eyes for the Hey You donation. Thank you to Mohawk Girl, who says, we need media reform. They are a threat to national security. Also need to teach about the indoctrination of young scholars in public school. My sister went to Cornell and is brainwashed. Communists are sneaky. That's a very good point. And then it's like from K through 12 and in college. And you might even get away with it. You might escape the indoctrination K through 12, but then go to college and become a total SJW. Shout out to Ellen, who says, the super chat with the buildings and whatnot. Thank you to Blake Monasco, who says, hey, do you think the Biden is just a way they get who they really want in, who be the VP? They may use Biden just to be able to get the foot in the front, like I was saying earlier. As far as VP, they probably want a person like Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta. They probably want her, you know. Shout out to Annette Dragic for your donation. Thank you to Ellen again for your donations. Thank you to YouTube user 533, who says, need merch that says regular everyday normie. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Regular everyday one. Yeah, that's one of my sayings. Thank you to First Fire 508, who says, ABL hear about the Pelosi insider trading before the lockdown. She made $6 million. I did not hear about that. Very interesting. Thank you to my man Charles Turner Jr., who says, ABL Daisy Cousins video mentions how the far left and far right are racist in their own ways. Yes. Like I was saying with Jordan earlier, you get to the extremes, you get to be the same person. Just like if you are kind of like apolitical, left, right, and you hit the center, it's the same. You have no politics at all versus having all the politics, you know? Mr. Wright says Chrissy Teigen going to jail. Yeah, Chrissy Teigen is on some different stuff right there. She has some really inappropriate tweets she deleted, talking about, abusing children and whatnot. If she's not in jail right now, she should be on the first thing smoking big rocks, little rocks all day long. Shout out to Stephen Robertson for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Scott Warner, who says, thanks for all you do. Where you get your shirts made by? Oh, these are just kind of like just regular polo shirts. I don't want to give it out because I don't want to. We're not sponsored yet, so if I can get that sponsorship, whoever makes these shirts, I'll plug them. Thank you to Jeff Roberts for the donation. Thank you to Doug Ripley, who says, ABO, please run for president 2024. Thank you for sticking up for true Americans. Hey, I might need to do it. Thank you for that. I might start small. I was getting asked to do this before I even became a YouTuber. I was getting asked from my family members to run, because I was helping a friend of mine in Virginia run. Like I was doing graphic design, and my aunt saw me in West Virginia when I just happened to be up there. I was in the mall. I ran into her in the mall, and she was like, "Did you win?" I'm like, "Win what?" "Oh, you running for mayor, right?" I was like, "Nah, that wasn't me. That was my friend." She was like, "You should run. Do city council first, and then work your way on through it." So I was getting told that like 10 years ago before this YouTube thing started. So that may be my next course of action. If enough people, support and they really want me to do it. If you called to do it, then you might got to do it. Thank you to Double O Tyrone for the 100 donation. Thank you to Derek Reaver to love the message. Thank you to New Wave Bossa Nova, who says, oh, the good luck emoji with the cat blowing to the megaphone. Thank you to Joe Ryder 84, who says AOC really doesn't do a lot of thinking. Just a reminder. There you go. Thank you to Leo Mazina for becoming an ABL supporter. Leo Mazina, thank you for that. Thank you to Mr. Tix, who says, when are we all going to organize a movement to fight corruption and tyranny in government, fight tyranny and support Trump? And one guy, he needs the strength and support of the people. This is the real problem. You guys have millions of subs. Let's go. Thanks, ABL. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Zachary Tichin, who says, Kanye West said he'd get more votes than Biden as a write-in. I don't know about that one, but, hey, it could happen. Used to be a Democrat, but I woke up and realized that they are GOP light. Disagreeing fan here. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Sarah Maker, who says, did you see the SJW are calling the Ghost of Tsushima cultural appropriation? Even though reviews from Japan are very positive, calling the American developer Sucker Punch racist, even though they have a diverse workforce. Sony is a publisher. Exactly. Sony is a Japanese company. Ghost of Tsushima is about feudal Japan. Japanese people love it. Japanese critics love it. What's the problem? The people that are mad about Ghost of Tsushima are not even Japanese, mostly white. It was one guy talking about, white folks went behind our back and talked to Japanese people without getting Asian and America's points of view. It's like, so you're Korean, not even Japanese. What are you complaining about? You're Korean. You are of Korean ancestry, but you're an American. This is about Japan. What are you talking about, sir? That's like somebody crying about Africa not being represented properly when they are an Irish guy living in New York City. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, talk to the Africans, see how they feel about it. How about that? All right, shout out to, let me see. Let me go back to where I was. Thank you to Filter82, who says, my man, God bless you as well. Thank you for your donation. And by the way, that game I was talking about, Ghost of Tsushima, is a great game. If you're into gaming, you like feudal Japan like I do, you really enjoy it. I'm playing that right now. Matter of fact, in a little bit, I might get an hour here and there. I can play it. Thank you to William Albano, who says, I appreciate your voice. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. Thank you to Desmond Benton, who says, what's the number of white abortions versus black abortions since Roe v. Wade? That's a good question. I don't really know, but I know they're both high. Thank you to Sean H, who says, love your channel. I don't always agree with you, but I like your honesty and insight. And thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. That's one thing I'm gonna always do is be honest and just give you how I feel. I'm gonna give you the facts as they are, black and white, and then I give you my opinion, and I'm gonna always be honest. I can't do anything else other than to be honest. That's just me. All right. Shout out to C Baltz, the artist producer, who says, been rocking with you, ABL, since the beginning. God bless. Thank you. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you for being here from the jump. You said I came a long way from a 2-bedroom apartment in Virginia, 800 square feet, when now I'm over here doing my thing in Tennessee. Shout out to the Polimo Jedit who says, ABL, NHL, baby, the last bastion in sports that doesn't feel the need to publicly express national loathing and self-flagellation before every game. Hey, I've not seen them play yet. Hopefully they stick to that. That's what I want to see from the NHL. Also, UFC. They don't do that. Boxing as well. So shout out to the NFC guys and the boxing guys, and so far the NHL guys. Major League Baseball trash, National Basketball Association trash, NFL trash. Shout out to Chris Wegmer who says, you're right, conservatives do need to stand up for ourselves. Exactly. Thank you to Alien Testosterone, that's a great name, who says, Salty Army is Legion. Talking about Salty Cracker. I'm just now hearing about Salty Cracker. I've subscribed to them. I never seen their content, but you guys are smarter than I am. So you say, hey, ABL, go over there, check them out. I'm gonna check them out. Shout out to, I can't read that. JSE Kel1 who says, counter protest. Thank you to Shirley Good is son who says, why is nobody speaking about the man who kneeled on the baby and post a picture on Facebook? When I say nobody, I mean the news. Well, they don't want to talk about that because the guy, biracial, probably identifies as black and the baby was white, so I guess it don't really matter. If it was the other way around, then it'd be all over everywhere. It'd be white supremacists, hate crime, everything else. You know what's going on. And thank you, Shirley, for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Sean H, who says, so who are you going to call when the criminals took over your house? The police, refund the police. Exactly. Thank you for that. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, rioters rarely go to suburban and rural areas. They don't want to do that because it's too dangerous out there. Thank you to Eric Hirschfield for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to IC or LC for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Will Redding, who says, do it, ABL. Loomer is going to win too. Shout out to Laura. I met Laura Loomer actually in Miami last year. Shout out to her. Really nice person. Shout out to Q Mom, who says, only second time tuning in, never get notifications. I want to thank you for speaking truth, being courageous, and standing on the side of justice. God bless you and your work. Well, thank you for that. I most certainly appreciate you guys. And if you guys are not getting notifications, try the bell. The bell might work or it might not work. Right by the subscribe button should be a bell. Click that bell and set it to get notifications. That should work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't really know. But try that out. If it don't work, don't blame me, blame YouTube. It ain't my fault. All right. Thank you to Richard Everett, who says ABL matters. ABL means all Black Lives Matter. ABLM, all Black Lives Matter. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to This Week of Civil War History, who says, what do you think about the disbanding of the Democratic Party and the Republican resolution to disband them? I thought it was a humorous thing to put out there. It would never happen, but if we're being consistent in our logic, if we're going to stay on the same page and keep everything the way it's supposed to be and not be hypocritical, they should disband the Democratic Party because they were the ones that were historically behind racism, and the Republican Party were the ones that were against it. We were the abolitionists. They were the slavers. So if we're going to go based on canceling this and canceling that, cancel them. Keep everything consistent. But they don't want to do that because they don't abide by consistency. They abide by double standards. Is pretty much how they operate. Thank you to Hank McCoy, who says, unless Trump breaks up unions, U.S. is bankrupt in 2021. Thank you to Billy Stahl, who says, Democrats are fighting imaginary racism with real racism. Exactly. Thank you to Christian Williams, who says, that's bad math. The only language you speak, read, and write fluently is English. Shaking my head. The bigotry of low expectations. Thank you to Slope Douche, funny name, who says, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you to Civil War History, who says the mob looks better than Dems. Thank you to Motor Love 1968 for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Shane Wilson for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to You're Dramatic, who says Australia loves US. God bless everyone and their families. Much love from Australia. Thank you for that. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to Oz. Hopefully everything's good down there. Shout out to Mr. Tits for becoming a member of the ABL squad as a supporter. Thank you to Civil War History, who says, last time I was here, I asked about the Western Bird. That's the white couple where the pregnant woman bumped into a 15-year-old black girl. Your thoughts on the case? Now, I've not heard any updates on it, but the whole situation was just ridiculous as far as the black girls confronting the lady for bumping. It was just too much. And what she did as far as pulling a gun was the right thing to do because they were You know, at a certain point, it's like, all right, I'm trying to leave me alone, and you beating my car, you get behind my car. All right, now I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to be meek, I'm trying to leave, and you're not letting me leave. All right, take this. Luckily, nobody got hurt, and I don't know what the fate of the couple is going to be to pull the pistol out, but it shouldn't be anything. It's self-defense. Thank you to New Wave Bossa Nova, who says, thanks, ABL. Thank you for your donation and your very kind support. Thank you to James Burlow, who says, I wish an indigenous person would harass me. I'll take $1 million. Oh, they got it. Thank you for that. Thank you to Nature Boy Alfie, who says, hey, ABL, your thoughts on Mayor Lightfoot's Columbus statue takedown, 0.30. Just trying to capitulate to the mob as per usual in democratic cities. Crazy, but it is what it is. Thank you to Eli, who says, thanks, ABL from France. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Max Dominguez, who says, open up USA. Went from Houston, Texas to Indiana. Been in stores, restaurants, went to Disney, a beach in Tampa, went to New Orleans on Dirty Smelly Bourbon Street in a rental car. I'm still alive. God bless. That's what I'm saying. It's like, look, let's get back to normal. You're not going to die if you just happen to go outside. It is what it is. You know, I've been outside too. I'm still here. Thank you to Hiker A67 AZ. Thank you to Hiker AZ67. I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm getting tired. Who says, they are dumbing down the future voters. Exactly. Thank you to Evodio Tovar, who says, she is right. South Carolina is now on a 10-point system rather than the traditional 7-point system. That's crazy. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Lisa Marie Lawrence, who says, some students should be passed, get them off campus. Hey, you know what? I see where you're coming from, but what happens is these people, these kids, they, you know, it's like, what are they going to do when they get to be an adult? They shouldn't pass. They should go ahead and just drop out. They shouldn't pass, really. You know, back in my day, if you kept failing, you were not allowed back in school past a certain point. You know, but you didn't pass. You didn't graduate. Well, how are you going to graduate not knowing how to read? Shout out to my man, Coach Houston, for the donation. Definitely appreciate you for that. Thank you to the John Beck, who says, thanks, ABL, for all your work. Thank you to R. Beard for your donation. Thank you to Cyrus Cherry, who says, you are literally a potential martyr if you're black and support Trump. Exactly. Thank you to Roman McFeely, who says, much love and respect, ABL. Thank you to Chris Minton, who says, go get him, ABL. Thank you to Too Shiny, who says, what do you think will happen to the country with Biden as president? Well, Biden as president, man, it's going to be... you're talking about a dystopian future, man. You don't want to see that. I mean, what's happening right now will be amplified times a million, in my humble opinion, because it'll be endorsed from the top. Thank you to Mr. Wright, who says Chrissy Teigen is going to jail. Let me see. Thank you to Tony Boswell, who says congrats on the engagement. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Leo for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to you Eyeball, who says, ABL, thank you, sir. By the way, I'll vote for you all day long and twice on Sunday. Thank you for that. Thank you to Eugene Riley for the keep it up emoji. Shout out to Too Shiny, who says, it's weird that all the conservative YouTubers wear hats. Hey, you know what? I don't know. It's a weird thing. You know, Tim Pool and everybody, yeah, we do wear hats. But, you know, I sell mine, so it is what it is. Thank you to Cyrus Cherry, who says, please make a video about these weird woke black people, like what Nick Cannon was talking about. YouTubers like Young Pharaoh talks about this crap. I used to watch it, but I started feeling weird like AOC. Yeah, you know, I was around those kind of guys when I was younger. The woke guys, and it's like a whole little subsection of society, like a little subculture. It's kind of weird. And once you get into it and really understand what's going on, these guys are just morons at the end of the day. Thank you to the licensed guru, who says, thank you for all you do for your country, ABL. May God bless you and all those you hold near and dear. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. And lastly, but not leastly, thank you to Civil War History, who says, thanks for answering my questions. You rock. No problem. Thank you for your donation. And shout out to everybody that has been here throughout the entire show. You guys are fantastic. The best audience on the internet. Thank you to the moderators. We got Killer Sushi. We got Rapper 10,000. We got Elijah Jean. We got Michelle A. We got Zenochis Kane Shore. We got all you guys in the building. You guys are fantastic. All right. I got to roll on out. Shout out to Kim Bone. I see you as well, Bill from the Hills. I got to roll on out. I will see you guys again live on Wednesday here on the channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern. Then I'll be live again on Tatum's channel That's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll be live back here again next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'll have just news topics all throughout the week, pre-recorded videos. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that right now. And last but not least, my final request, if you're not like the video yet, go ahead and like the video right now. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff, and also subscribe to the channel. And thank you for listening. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.